They battled in one of the greatest Super Bowls ever. Intercepted at the goal line by Malcolm Butler. Now they meet again for the first time since. It's the Seahawks and the Patriots on Sunday Night Football.
Oh, Sunday night.
Another beauty on Sunday Night Football.
Oh, Sunday night.
And here we go.
Stand up and cheer, stomp your feet, start clapping. NBC Sunday night about to happen. America's game, been waiting all day. The Hawks and the Pats have come to play. The games are here, let's turn it up. It's the NFL, can't get enough. We got a battle tonight, a winner take all, ain't nothing like Sunday Night Football. It's out of control, get set, let's go. The clock's winding down, let's rock and roll. Stand up and cheer, stomp your feet, start clapping. NBC Sunday night about to happen. The hits keep coming and the lights keep flashing. Come on, get ready for the action. Stand up and cheer, stomp your feet, start clapping. NBC Sunday night about to happen, and the hits keep coming and the lights keep flashing. Come on, get ready for the action. Sunday night.
On a cool and clear night in New England, we're at Gillette Stadium in Foxboro, Massachusetts, as the Patriots take the field. Super Bowl 49, what a game that was as the Pats beat Seattle. And tonight, Russell Wilson leads the Seahawks into town to meet Tom Brady and the Patriots on Sunday Night Football. Al Michaels, Chris Collinsworth, Michelle DeFoya. The Patriots come in with a mark of 7-1. They're 4-0 since Tom Brady came back from suspension. They're well rested. They come off a bye week. This team has been to 5 straight AFC Championship games, and they are very well positioned to extend that streak. Now the Seahawks are 5-2-1. That tie coming against Arizona on a Sunday night. This team leads the NFC Western Division. They're spearheaded once again, as they are almost every year, by a terrific defense, and they come off a big win on Monday night over Buffalo at home, led by Russell Wilson and a now healthy Jimmy Graham, and what a difference that can make. Well, Chris, 2 years ago, of course, we were there. What a Super Bowl that was. Tremendous game, and these two teams could be headed for an encore in February.
I love this matchup, don't you? Just two proud franchises that won't take 1 second of one play off all night long. It was like that in the Super Bowl. We were so lucky to have a chance to call, and it'll be like that out here tonight.
If this were a movie, you'd have an all-star cast, but at the top of the marquee would be the two quarterbacks.
Yeah, how about Russell Wilson? No Marshawn Lynch this year. He's been hurt all season, and yet he's just dragged his team into first place. And Tom Brady, arguably the best quarterback of all time, or just the best quarterback of all time. That's really the only argument now.
We've had this baby circled on the calendar since the schedule came out. It's finally here. It's the Patriots and the Seahawks on Sunday Night Football.
NBC Sunday night about to happen.
NBC Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and remove your hats as we honor America and the men and women serving to protect it. In honor of the NFL's league-wide Salute to Service initiative, joining us on the field tonight are over 100 active duty military members representing all 5 branches of the United States Armed Forces, as well as veterans from all conflicts dating back to World War II. Presenting the nation's colors is the United States Marine Corps Honor Guard. And here to perform our national anthem, please welcome the United States Coast Guard Brass Quintet.
Beautiful salute to cap off this Veterans Day weekend. Okay, time to go down on the field right now. Check in with Michelle.
Well, Al, Super Bowl 49 will forever be remembered by Malcolm Butler's game-saving goal line interception of Russell Wilson. That single moment may have overshadowed the brilliant fourth quarter performance turned in by Tom Brady. Seattle was 12 minutes away from repeating as Super Bowl champs. Brady was staring down a 10-point deficit against the league's top-ranked defense. His response? He completed 13 of 15 passes with 2 touchdowns. The first breaking Joe Montana's record for Super Bowl touchdown passes, and the second the game winner to Julian Edelman, which capped off a perfect 8-for-8 drive. Now, Seahawks linebacker Bobby Wagner told me what he remembers about that performance was Brady's precision and accuracy. In fact, he said Brady was putting the football in places that was just mere millimeters outside the hands of the Seahawks defenders. Now, tonight the Patriots are without running back Dion Lewis. They brought him off PUP on Saturday, but he is inactive tonight. As for the Seahawks, they get back safety Cam Chancellor, who has missed the last 4 games with a groin injury. And running back Christian Michael had an MRI on his hamstring yesterday, but he is active and expected to play out.
Thank you, Michelle. There's your coaching matchup. You have the 2 oldest coaches in the league. Pete Carroll is 65. Bill Belichick, a few months younger, still 64. So it is the battle of the wise men, among other things, tonight in Foxboro. And there is Malcolm Butler. He will live in, well, in legendary thoughts. And when you think about New England and its great sports history with the Red Sox and the Celtics and the Bruins and the Patriots, I mean, he's right up there with anybody for that one moment. Cyrus Jones is back to receive. Seattle won the toss, and they have deferred. Bill Belichick always defers. He likes to have that possibility for the double, taking it at the end of the first half and the beginning of the second, but he won't have that chance tonight. Stephen Hauschka ready to kick off for Seattle. Fireworks going off. Temperature is about 56 degrees on a beautiful night in Foxboro, Massachusetts. Windless at the moment. No wind. And away we go under these perfect conditions on Sunday Night Football. And taking a knee in the end zone is Cyrus Jones. Let's take a look at the New England starters.
Tom Brady, Michigan.
LeGarrette Blount, Perry, Florida.
Julian Edelman, Kent State.
Chris Hogan, Penn State lacrosse.
Rob Gronkowski, Arizona.
Marty, the Imagination Agency.
Nate Solder, Colorado.
Joe Tooney, North Carolina State.
David Andrews, Georgia.
Shaq Mason, Georgia Tech.
Marcus Cannon, Texas Christian University.
And that offensive line has stayed very healthy, quite in contrast to last season for the Patriots. James White starts in the backfield. He catches a lot of passes, and right off the bat he catches the first pass of the game from Brady, and that's a first down. So LeGarrette Blount is their main back, but they bring White in not only on 3rd down, but very often on 1st and 2nd, as they do here. Brady has just been spectacular. In 4 games, he's thrown 12 touchdown passes, no interceptions. In fact, the Patriots this season, and we're halfway through their season, 8 games, they have not thrown 1 interception all year. After a gain of 13 from the 38-yard line. On the ground. Crease there for Blount. And he works his way up to the 43 as we take a look at that Seattle D.
Frank Clark, Michigan.
Ataba Rubin, Iowa State.
Tony McDaniel, Tennessee.
Cliff Averill, Boilermaker.
KJ Wright, Mississippi State.
Bobby Wagner, D, Utah State.
Brock Coyle, University of Montana.
Richard Sherman, Stanford.
Cam Chancellor, Virginia Tech.
Earl Thomas, DBU, Texas.
Deshaun Shedd, Portland State.
Nothing exotic. If you watch the Seahawks, you know they just line up and play, as Bill Belichick might say. They just do their job. 2nd and 5. Play action. Brady. The pump fake. Looks for somebody to get open. And the pass is incomplete, as Julian Edelman was the intended receiver. He was covered downfield. It'll be 3rd down and 5. Shedd on the coverage.
How about the protection to start things off here? This is one of the best pass rush teams in the National Football League, and Tom Brady's just going to bounce around out there. Luckily for them on defense, Deshaun Shedd just never was shed on that play going against Julian Edelman. perfect coverage for an extended period of time.
Edelman, their leading receiver in terms of numbers of catches, at 41. And it's 3rd down and 5. Brady fires. That's caught, and there is Gronkowski having a spectacular season and a 1st down. So they convert here. Gronkowski is averaging 22 yards per reception, and that was good for 22.
Yeah, one of the things you want to do with Gronkowski is keep him going across the middle of the field. The thing that the Seahawks love to do defensively is to trade off in there. They have what's called sort of a star or a lurking player right in the middle of the field. But Gronkowski that time got across the face of that, across the formation, and there wasn't as much defense on that side. The safety slow to react.
So Earl Thomas couldn't make the tackle. The ball at the 35-yard line. And Blunt goes to the outside, then cuts it back, and turns what looked like maybe a 1-yard gain into a gain of about 6 or 7.
Cam Chancellor back and healthy after the groin injury, and he's going to come shooting up, but the fullback James Devlin is going to give him one big shot. He tried to just sort of roll out of it. There are some big men that will be running into each other tonight in this ball game. Both these teams so prideful, they want to just physically take it to the other.
2nd and 4 on the ground again. That'll be a 1st down as LeGarrette Blunt takes the ball to the 23-yard line. Blunt comes into the game averaging just 3.8, but he has 600 yards, and he's on his way to a 1,200-yard season.
I always love the opening drives of the New England Patriots. They do everything, Al. I mean, you've seen every formation that you could possibly see so far in this first drive, and all they're doing is testing the waters. All right, what is Seattle going to do when we go 2 tight ends? What are they going to do when we put a fullback in? They've gotten a lot of answers already on this drive.
What they do now is they split Gronkowski all the way wide to the left. Brady will go the other way, throws it to White, and White has a 1st down. It was stopped about a yard shy, and then he was able to take Sherman with him for the extra 2. So White, another one of those guys. I mean, he's like Vereen. He's like Shane Vereen. Remember, he was here for a long time. He caught 11 passes in the Super Bowl. Brady was talking about White the other day. He says he's like the kid who does everything perfectly.
He said you can't even get mad when he makes a mistake because he's so mad at himself, and he's such a humble kid. You could tell Tom Brady really loved him.
Now Blunt comes back in the game, gets the handoff. Brady handing it to him with his left hand, taking it to the 10-yard line for a gain of 2. It'll be 2nd and 8 for the Patriots.
Yeah, all the way around the edge here. Cam Chancellor, welcome back. Here's a guy that has such a great understanding of this defense, and as Bill Belichick put it to us, it doesn't matter how many blockers you put up there. They're going to put one extra defender. They are going to be intent on stopping the run first, and you're going to have to make plays in the passing game.
9th play of the drive. Perfect balance for runs, for passes. Now Brady goes empty and throws to the back corner of the end zone, and there's the flag. Gronkowski, the intended receiver, he had Cam Chancellor, and the only issue would be, was it catchable or not? Clear interference, and that's going to make it 1st down and goal.
Defense, number 31. Foul occurred in the end zone. The ball will be at the 1-yard line. 1st and goal. Number 71 is reporting eligible.
Cam Chancellor has his back turned, and Gronkowski in complete control here, just was able to draw that foul. Not sure he would have been able to catch up to that ball or not, but clearly a foul.
Agreed. And now from the 1, they give the ball to Blunt, and LeGarrette Blunt, no signal yet, appears to be stopped just shy of the goal line. It'll be, now it's a touchdown. So there's the delayed call as the official comes in, sees where the ball winds up, then LeGarrette Blunt is into the end zone. So they cap off this drive, and it takes just a 4:41, ready for his close-up, and New England takes the lead.
Joe Tooney, Nate Solder, great job getting this one into the end zone. There certainly didn't look like anything we're going to be able to overturn it with there. Just too many bodies. I'll let you call that one, Al.
Well, all scoring plays are reviewed. No, I'm going to let you call this one.
That was just a big pile. I don't think they could even overturn it if they wanted to. What an impressive drive, though, for an opening drive and just workmanlike against one of the best defenses in the NFL.
For Blunt, that is his 10th rushing touchdown of the season. Stephen Gostkowski for the extra point. So Seattle deferred, and New England says, we'll take it. We'll take it 75 yards in 9 plays. 7-0. Sunday Night Football being brought to you by Verizon. Join the Better Network because better matters. By Walmart. Celebrate the holidays with Walmart. Find gifts, groceries, and fast checkouts. By GE, we imagine a better world, then make it real. And by Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing. Some images from Super Bowl 49. Their 4th championship. Darrell Bevell, the offensive coordinator of the Seattle Seahawks, whose resume is pretty darn good, all things considered. But I guess if there's one play, obviously you'd like to have back, it's the end of the Super Bowl.
I think I've said enough about that play.
We've digested it.
Yeah, we're going to let it go.
18 million different ways. And that kick is going to go out of bounds off the foot of Gostkowski, and that's going to give them the ball up at the 40-yard line as Gene Steratore checks it out with the head linesman, Mike
Kick out of
Spanier.
bounds on the kicking team. Ball be placed at the 30-yard line. First down, Seattle.
Steratore said the 30. He meant the 40 when you kick it out of bounds.
Well, the official's standing right there, and it went just to his right, our left, as we look at it. So he had the best view of it. But that's a big play. You know, you start offensively. A lot of times against New England, you're lucky to get it out to the 20, and here they are on the 40.
Yeah, that's worth 15 yards. Otherwise, they would have been at the 25. So Russell Wilson. The back is C.J. Procise, a rookie from Notre Dame, and the first play is incomplete, intended for Jermaine Kearse. Russell Wilson, you know, he's been hurt this year. He hasn't been 100%, but he hasn't missed a game. The numbers are pretty good. You know, the rating is very good. 7 touchdowns, 2 picks. Not running nearly as much because he had an ankle injury in the opener, hurt his knee in game 3. But has played in every game and has led this team to a 5-2-1 mark. Second down and 10. Off play action. Goes deep downfield and lays it in perfectly to Tyler Lockett. He himself battling injuries, but he's now completely healthy, and a big gain here of 35 yards. Beat Justin Coleman, the cornerback.
Yeah, and he does a nice thing. He starts to go outside, but then ducks quickly back inside and works his way to the outside. So he sort of had body position on Coleman right from the start. And Russell Wilson, how many times have we seen it just lay it in there perfectly?
Now from the 24-yard line, Procise will take the ball to the 18-yard line. He figures to see a lot of action tonight. You know that Marshawn Lynch retired. They have Thomas Rawls, who's been hurt. They may get him back by next week, certainly the week after. They had Christian Michael, who would be their #1 running back, but he's been bothered by a hamstring. In fact, he was on the injury report last week, but he's active tonight. But Procise figures to see, as he has in the past couple of weeks, a good deal of action.
Yeah, and here he is spread out. He played receiver at Notre Dame and safety and running back. So they love his versatility. They're excited about Procise.
Seahawks going 5 wide, and the pass is caught, and that's going to be the first down. Doug Baldwin moves the sticks as we take a look at the Seattle offense.
Russell Wilson from the whole pack of Badgers.
C.J. Procise, Notre Dame.
Doug Baldwin, Stanford.
Jermaine Kearse, University of Washington.
Tyler Lockett, Kansas State.
Jimmy Graham, the U.
George Fant, Western Kentucky.
Mark Lewinsky, West Virginia. Justin Britt, LHS, MIZ.
Jermaine Ifedi, Giga Maggies.
Gary Gilliam, Milton Hershey.
Lots of good stories on that offensive front. You got 2 rookies starting there, quite in contrast to New England. Now you got Procise, and he's able to move the ball inside the 10-yard line. Pick up there of 6 yards, 2nd and 4.
Well, this has been an offensive line that has taken some heat, but watch the left guard here, Mark Lewinsky, get a little help there and then get up on Hightower. And right now they're making at least a few yards running the football right at the New England Patriots, and that is going to be big if that can continue.
2nd and 4. To the outside goes Procise, and coming up to make the tackle is Flowers. Trey Flowers, second-year defensive lineman out of the University of Alabama, setting up a 3rd down. Matt Patricia is the defensive coordinator of the Patriots.
Of course, no Chandler Jones on this team. They trade Jamie Collins to Cleveland. So this time a year ago, 2 of his best players are now playing for somebody else.
So 3rd and 4. Reach the halfway mark of the first quarter here in Foxboro. Wilson glancing up at the play clock, down to 3. And on 3rd and 4, he fires, and that will be not caught. Incomplete. Jermaine Kearse, incomplete. It's waved off. Logan Ryan covering on the play, and Seattle will settle for a field goal attempt.
Comes 15 Kearse right at you. Looked like he worked so hard to try and put that thing across the goal line that as he did, it just lost it.
You know what that looked like?
Yeah, another Super Bowl you did.
Right. And also another pass over the middle. Here's Hauschka. A 27-yard field goal attempt. Ryan to hold, and Hauschka, a Massachusetts native, boots it through. So 7:10 left in the opening quarter. 7-3 New England. Don't miss a moment of the game with the NBC Sports app. You can watch the game anywhere, live on your laptop, tablet, and connected TVs. Downtown Boston, Mass. 28 miles north of Foxboro. 7-3. The score at Gillette Stadium. Cyrus Jones is back to receive the kick. Matthew Slater joins him there as well, and Hauschka to kick off. And the Patriots will begin their next drive from the 25-yard line. Well, you all know that Brady was suspended for the first 4 games. So Jimmy Garoppolo started weeks 1 and 2, then got hurt. We had him on opening night against Arizona in a thriller. So in came Jacoby Brissett, a rookie, who led them to a win and a loss. Their only one of the season. Then Brady comes back. He's just been spectacular. Their only loss of the season coming in week number 4, and it was here to the Buffalo Bills, who beat them 16-0. Josh McDaniels running the Patriot offense. So Brady starts out of the gun from the 25-yard line, pressured, stepping up, and throws incomplete at the feet of Hogan. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
One of the things I've always really enjoyed watching with Tom Brady, now he is not the swiftest of athletes. Would you agree?
Agreed.
But he has an ability to dance around in that pocket, and a lot of times you'll see him drop back to 10 yards, hesitate for a moment, basically saying, come get me, guys, and then he'll step up, forcing those defensive ends to run around him.
And they give it to Blunt. He's going to get taken down in the backfield. Oddly enough, Frank Clark made the tackle. Oddly enough, Brady is averaging 4.4 yards per rush this season.
Well, you know, he's gotten faster. He does all that TB12 stuff now he was telling us about. I started stretching just after he was telling us.
Right.
He is totally into, everybody trains the wrong way now. Everybody does these exercises to shorten their muscles, and you should be making your muscles long. And we got about a 5-minute lecture out of it, and I went right to the gym and tried it.
You had to. I mean, Brady's 39 years old. He has no thoughts about retiring. Brady throws underneath and up at the 27-yard line. Martellus Bennett, in his first year with the Patriots, is tackled well short of the first down, and in comes the punting group.
Yeah, that was Cam Chancellor that time in that star or lurk position right in the middle of the field, and his job is to pick up any crossers, and that time no problem, gets off the field.
Ryan Allen to punt. Lockett, and now that he's gotten health here, made the catch on the 35-yard reception. He's a threat to really break one, but he's pinned against the sideline here, and he can't pick up any blocking, and the coverage is outstanding, and he is tackled at the 21-yard line. 56-yard boot. Jimmy Fallon, the Tonight Show this week. Nice array of guests coming his way. Nicole Kidman's going to be there. Sterling K. Brown, one of the stars of the new show This Is Us, which has become very popular. Tonight Show all this week. Seattle now starting from the 21. Patriots on top 7-3. Kristen Michael is in the backfield. Fake to him, and Wilson's going to go down, but there is a flag. And you got to get a hold here. Trey Flowers, I think I said before Alabama, I meant Arkansas. Don't go Twitter crazy in Fayetteville. We clean that up. But flag is thrown here.
Offense number 63. Penalty is declined. Second down.
That's Mark Glowinski. And you have a loss on the play. That's going to take the ball all the way back to the 14-yard line.
All right, there's Glowinski right there, going to hold Brown, but I thought it was going to be on Fant on the outside. I think it could have been an either or. As you look at this one, Fant is going to lose Flowers coming around the edge as well. Major issues with this offensive line. They didn't pay a whole lot for it, and sometimes it shows.
2nd and 17 at the 14. And Wilson fires, and that's juggled and then caught up at the 26 by Paul Richardson. Let's take a look at the New England defense.
Chris Long, Virginia.
Alan Branch, University of Michigan.
Malcolm Brown, Texas. Javal Sheard, Pitt.
Rob Ninkovich, Purdue. Elandon Roberts, the University of Houston.
Dante Hightower, the University of Alabama.
Malcolm Butler, West Alabama University.
Patrick Chung, the Ducks.
Devin McCourty, Rutgers.
Logan Ryan, Rutgers.
And that defense right now facing an empty set here, 5 wide for Wilson on 3rd down, and he lofts it, and it's broken up at the 50-yard line. A flag is down, however. Justin Coleman, who was beaten before by Lockett, this time was able to swat it away, but the teams are moving toward midfield, indicating against New England.
Pass interference. Defense number 22. Spot foul, automatic. First down.
And they're working on Mr. Coleman tonight.
Now Justin Coleman had his back turned and really sort of swatted and hit this ball, but there was a little grab there, and just before the ball came down, it was a forearm to the face. I thought that was the right call at the time, and the replay confirms it.
So that's good for 26 yards. Remember, he gave up the 35-yarder to Lockett that moves the ball into Patriots territory at the 47-yard line. And they're going to just change the spot. They're going to move it back to the 47 of Seattle.
Just had the wrong 47.
Right.
Easy to do.
So it's a 20-yard penalty.
As they serenade him from above.
So back to the 47 of their own. And Wilson, quick toss out here to Kristen Michael. And he's taken out of bounds at the 49 of New England. So what happened here, he had the 2 injuries, the ankle and the knee. In weeks 2 through 7, there was the wrapping around the feet and ankles of Wilson. And those are off. So he still has the brace, as you can see, around the left leg. But clearly more mobile than he's been in a while.
Now, how about his rehab? They woke him up every hour and a half at home for about 2 weeks.
Brought his own therapist up from LA to live there. And the pass is incomplete, intended for Jermaine Kearse. That'll make it 3rd down and 6.
You know, we talked a little bit about Jamie Collins being traded to Cleveland. There's his replacement there, Landon Roberts. And Landon Roberts is a big hitter, but he's not that big. He's about 6 feet tall and 235 pounds. Jamie Collins, 6'3" and 250. And these New England Patriots linebackers play hard downhill. They're expected to come flying in there and blow things up. It'll be interesting to see the difference with Roberts in there as the season goes along.
Well, now you've got 4 receivers bunched to the left side. And Wilson goes that way underneath, and they're going to get the first down as Procise makes the catch and goes all the way to the 30-yard line. And there's a word or two with Deron Harmon, first down.
It's nice having a former wide receiver on the outside, and he knows how to run routes. You'll see this one, just a little in and out route. He's wide open. That 4-man bunch, you can imagine how complicated it is trying to figure out who's covering whom at this point. Jamie Collins or Dante Hightower that time had a takedown taken on him.
Play action and a tight roll, and then the pass along the sideline is hauled in by Doug Baldwin for a 10-yard gain and a first down. It's the premier matchup tonight, receiver against DB. It's Baldwin and Butler.
Two of the best players in this game, and neither of them were drafted by the National Football League. A little out and up. That is the marquee matchup on the outside in this one. Both those guys, very chippy players, very proud. Both have made huge plays for their respective teams.
Well, when they're leading receiver, it's 46 catches for him this season. 3 minutes to go in the quarter. And Wilson fires, and that's a short gain caught there by Jermaine Kearse. Butler covering Kearse this time. Wilson started the game. He's 7 out of 10 now for 91 yards.
And you could just tell that Russell Wilson's feeling better. We saw him a few weeks ago, and we didn't see him run. And you know, it's interesting talking to Darrell Beverly, their offensive coordinator, basically saying, you know, for your first few years, everybody's saying, well, he's not a pocket passer. He's not this. He's not that. Now he is.
He's everything.
He's everything.
Inside, outside, he can run. Kristen Michael. Hard-earned yard, maybe 2, hit there by Butler. And it's going to set up a 3rd and short.
Haven't heard anything yet from Jimmy Graham, who made 2 spectacular catches on the Monday night this past week. Both one-handed catches, and a guy that is really, as much as anybody, the vertical threat on this team. He has been stretching the field, one of Russell Wilson's best friends in his wedding, and this is about the spot on the field they like to work it to him.
Coming back from a serious knee injury last year. It took him a while to get up to full speed, but looked like he was at full speed last Monday night. Wilson now throwing, and that is incomplete, intended for Kearse in the end zone. Logan Ryan was there, and Hauschka will come out again to try to make it a 7-6 game.
Well, for Logan Ryan, he was replaced as a starter the last few weeks. Right there he is, by Eric Rowe, who's inactive tonight. So as you well know, Bill Belichick will shuffle some defensive backs in and out depending on the matchup he likes, and he chose the right matchup there.
He'll shuffle you in and out. He might send you out of town too.
Yeah,
done that a few times. That's right. Shuffle off. 31-yard attempt for Hauschka is just inside the right upright. 2 red zone trips, but 2 field goals. 7-6. Thursday night we go to Charlotte. It's the Saints against the Panthers, and that's the first of 6 consecutive games on NBC on Thursday night from now through middle toward the end of December. So if you're looking for football on a Thursday night, NBC.
Can you believe what happened to those 2 teams today?
Oh, baby. 2 really excruciating losses. As Kansas City came from behind to beat Carolina, and then the end of the New Orleans game was crazy.
2 good stands defensively, though, for the Patriots, as Seattle was going up and down the field, but usually you win football games when you hold the other team to field goals.
1.5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Brady and company ready to come back out. Hauschka to kick off for the 3rd time. Cyrus Jones, rookie from Alabama. He was their 2nd round pick. They didn't have a 1st rounder in the spring, so he was their top choice. And he will down it in the end zone. Pats start from the 25 when we come back on Sunday Night Football. Chris Richard is the Seattle defensive coordinator, but he's minus Michael Bennett tonight. And that is a huge loss for this Seattle defense.
Almost all the New England players and coaches said the same thing. If he's not the best defensive player in the league, he's close to it.
So from the 25-yard line, Brady throws, and that's caught. About a 4-yard gain. Among other things, as you look at Bennett from the Super Bowl, his brother playing on the other side tonight.
Yeah, and I think his brother's glad he's not playing out there. Didn't really want to do that. But watch some of these plays from the Super Bowl. Clearly, Michael Bennett was just a huge factor in the game. I really thought had Seattle won the game, he would have been the MVP out there, just unblockable. And for Tom Brady, I'm sure he is not missing him at all so far tonight.
The Bennett boys, Martellus on the Patriots. The game right now is Blunt gets stopped for no gain. It'll be 3rd down and 7.
Yeah, I made mention of that to Josh McDaniels and some other people about, you know, playing without Michael Bennett on the other side. And he said, you know, with Bennett, they're the best pass rush team that we face. And he said, without Bennett, they're the best pass rush team that we face. This team is excellent. Frank Clark can do fine. Cliff Averill, 9 sacks. He's had 8 in the last 5 games, so they have been red hot rushing the passer.
Michael Bennett, knee injury. They hope to have him back in a couple of weeks. 3rd and 7 from the 28-yard line. Brady hangs in the pocket with some pressure, and you got all kinds of action going on, and no flag as Edelman was the intended receiver. Jeremy Lane was back there. 4th down. Pete Carroll might be the oldest coach in the league, but he still has a ton of zip.
Here's part of why that they can rush the passer so effectively. And I think about 70,000 people in this stadium just said, tell me the difference between that play and the pass interference the Patriots got.
Ryan Allen, his last hit was 56. This considerably shorter. But Tyler Lockett gets taken to the ground right where he catches it after a 37-yard boot. Spotted at the 35-yard line with 2 seconds to go in the quarter, and of course the fans wanted interference here.
Yep. They're going to let him play a little bit, but it has become such a big factor in these games, hasn't it, Al? You know, the pass interference, everybody is forced to play one-on-one coverage, thanks in part to guys like Tom Brady, because he gets the ball out of his hand so quickly. So if you sit back, you're never going to be able to make plays. So you're in those one-on-one situations, and so many times now it's up to the officials to decide, is that fair, is that not fair, and often it decides games.
No question. Procise is the running back here from the 35. Play action. Wilson flushed out, fires on the run, caught up at the 45. Jimmy Graham makes his first catch of the night, and that will take us to the end of the first quarter. New England 7, Seattle 6, and Sunday Night Football resumes after these messages. Aerial coverage tonight being brought to you by Geico. Looking down upon downtown Boston. We're in Foxboro. Al Michaels, Chris Collinsworth, and Michelle Tafoya. Sunday Night Football. All dressing up like Matt Patricia, the bearded one.
Like the Rob Ryan stuff down in New Orleans, right?
Yeah. It's 1st and 10 from the 46-yard line. And we begin here with Procise. You know, you get to the second half of the season, you start thinking about not only the playoffs, but home field advantage right now. New England would happen, of course, if the season ended today. Well, we'd be on vacation if the season ended today, but New England would have home field advantage. Seattle, they're among a passel of teams fighting for it.
They are, but we have seen Seattle over the past several years. What happens in the second half of the season? This team gets hot. And I could see that happening again now that Russell Wilson is starting to get healthy and they're starting to figure out this offensive line and the running back situation.
2nd down and 7. And Wilson throws, and it's incomplete. Well, you talk about that second half of the season. This team, they're great at home. They're great in the second half. And it parallels Wilson, too. The team is 20-12 over the last 4 years in the first half of the season, and 26-6 in the second half. And they were the first 2 months. Then you go to Wilson, 29-6 in his 5th year in November, December, and if the regular season laps over into January. So it's 3rd down and 7 now from the 49-yard line. Wilson fires over the middle, has his man, that's Jermaine Kearse, and he gets tackled at the 31-yard line by Duron Harmon. Broke away from Ryan. That's a gain of 20 yards.
Got all the big guns on the right-hand side in this bunch formation, and it's hard to not think about Jimmy Graham and Doug Baldwin, and then all of a sudden here comes Kearse across the formation. A big pickup there on 3rd down. You know, this is an offense that has not thrown deep very much this year, but when they have, incredibly successful. 65% on deep throws this year, but only 23 attempts.
They've done it twice tonight. Flag is thrown, play is whistled dead before the snap.
Just to give you a little perspective on that, 34% is the NFL average, and they're at 65%.
Offense number 15, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Kearse started early, and then moves the ball back to the 36.
It was really interesting talking with both these teams, and they were kind of saying the same things, that the other team is so good, you can't do stupid things. You can't give it away with turnovers. You can't have penalties. And as you watch this game, it kind of plays out like that. It's just so closely matched.
Definitely. 1st down and 15 now. Final word with Procise. And then they give it to him, and he breaks it into New England territory. Ran right into Malcolm Butler and knocked him back. Fetty, the rookie guard out of Texas A&M, leading the way.
Right there, and then you're going to see Malcolm Butler come over here late. And I don't think Procise ever saw him. I think he thought he was getting ready to go all Ezekiel Elliott and just sprint off for the end zone. And that is what Malcolm Butler can do. Not only a great guy in coverage, but he'll come up and pop.
2nd and 5. Again, they bunch those 3 receivers to the right side. Got a busted play, it looked like anyway. Christian Michael turns it into a first down to the 18-yard line.
Well, the Patriots are so disciplined on defense. Once they see Russell Wilson go one way and the running back go the other way, they figured that something was wrong, and yet it still exploded out of there. Watch this thing. There's no doubt Russell Wilson or Christian Michael went the wrong way, and yet it came up with an explosive play.
Seattle moving the ball. It's 150 yards already. They're in the red zone again, but they've settled for 2 field goals. Toss, sweep to the left side, and it's Michael taking it for a gain of close to 9.
Yeah, this is a very interesting development here, that we're starting to see more and more that they're able to just run the football here. Put, I think that was Will Tukuafu on the outside and just go toss sweep. But there aren't many teams that can just line up and make these kinds of plays. Remember, though, that you have, there's Tom Cable, the offensive line coach, trying to mold this unit into something. But they are 15th in yards allowed, the Patriots are, but 2nd in scoring, and we've seen that tonight.
Now they give it to Procise, and the big thing right now for Seattle running the ball, as you say, Chris, they were 30th in the league in rushing coming in. They couldn't get anything going, but tonight so far so good. They've gained 47 yards on the ground with 9 carries.
Yeah, and it's definitely unexpected. I mean, you look at a guy like George Fant. He was a basketball player, almost no football experience whatsoever in college, and here he is lining up at left tackle for a team like the Seattle Seahawks.
1st and goal. Wilson, the play fake, and the pass is not caught Paul Richardson diving for it, had position on the outside, can't hold it in. Ryan is there, 2nd and goal.
Yeah, it was Logan Ryan who was looking back at the quarterback, and this is one you really need to hit. Just a little bit of a cautious throw, I think, that time by Russell Wilson, wanting it to be to his guy or to nobody, and maybe a little too cautious, and he knows it.
And they go to Baldwin, and he makes the catch. He beats Butler for the touchdown. So that marquee matchup, puts a move on him, spins around, makes the grab into the end zone. Seattle has the lead.
Sorry, Al. So many people love this little delay slant move, and so this is a move off of that move. A little delay and then fake the slant and then just sort of back shoulder that thing. But I'll tell you, Russell Wilson and Doug Baldwin, they just live inside each other's minds. That was an incredible drive, and it was more than Russell Wilson and these receivers and Jimmy Graham. It was the offensive line that took over on that drive.
Baldwin's 3rd touchdown reception of the season, but he'd gone 5 games without one. So that drive is over. Hauschka for the point after, and the kick is no good. It was tipped. Blocked. He had 5 extra points missed earlier today, making it half dozen. It's 12-7. Stephen Hauschka has now had 3 extra points missed this season. All have been blocked, including this one by Shea McClellan.
You're not allowed to line up on the center, but you can line up on those guards and then both come down, knock down Nolan Freese, and able to get through to get the block by Shea McClellan. That is the alternative version, I guess, out of the jump over. You know, we've seen it all, and that's the great thing about these two teams, is that they just don't give you a playoff. No matter what it is, you can think you have some advantage in some little detail, and they are going to play every detail of every game.
12 straight unanswered points. I got to say, I love the fact that they moved the extra point back. I mean, all of a sudden, something that had no drama now has a ton of drama. Just ask the New Orleans Saints.
How about that? They're going down. They score what looked like maybe the game-winning touchdown. Line up for the extra point to go up 1 point. It gets blocked, goes back the other way for 2 points. They lose the game.
I mean, there's just drama on every extra point, even though 95% are made, but it's at 5%. It's crazy.
I agree. Best rule change they made.
Touchback here. You go to Wilson and Baldwin. Going back to last season, they are the highest rated combo. 15 TDs, 9 interceptions. What's second? Brady to Gronk. That's really no surprise. 14 touchdowns, 1 interception when Gronkowski gets targeted from number 12.
And you know, really, Gronkowski and Brady sort of started playing together. Gronkowski only had 1 catch through the first 4 games. Brady comes back. Now he's averaging 22 yards a catch, most for any tight end.
On the ground, this is Blunt. But the one thing about New England, they were able to hold the fort. Brady got suspended. Gronkowski wasn't ready. They had traded Chandler Jones, and they were 3-1 by the time Tom came back.
In some strange way, do you think it was the best way it could have ended? You know, because otherwise it's like, oh, wow, we didn't even need Tom Brady, but now they lose a game, and Brady comes back and just goes on this great run. I mean, this team is a very tight team, and sometimes when they get a little bigger cause to fight for, they're awfully tough to handle.
And it further burnishes Belichick's resume. 2nd and 9, and that's going to be the ball is then out. Gronkowski, they're going to rule it a completion. Now the officials are going to come in. Seattle wants it to be ruled a fumble.
The ruling on the field is a completed pass and a fumble recovered by Seattle.
Oh, there you go. It's going to be looked at again. All turnovers will be reviewed. Does he have possession is the question.
Well, watch, he's going to roll over Earl Thomas, so I don't think he's ever down. That forearm could have been the forearm. Is he still in control there? I think he is, and I think they're going to say that he's down right there before the fumble. Remember, the hand doesn't matter, but the forearm does.
The previous play will be reviewed. Timeout.
And that's going to be the question, and the crowd is seeing it, and they're sensing that it may be overturned. We'll find out when we come back. We're back. We're pretty sure they're going to overturn this, and New England's going to keep the ball. Here comes Steratore. Gronkowski's forearm was down.
After review, the ruling on the field is changed. The receiver does complete the catch. His left forearm is down at the 34-yard line on the hash mark nearest New England's bench. It will be 3rd and 1 New England from the 34-yard line. The clock will start on the ready for play.
And there's your forearm. He has control, and that negates what would have been Gronkowski's first fumble since 2012.
About 0.3 of a second difference there. Nice play by Chancellor to get his hand in there and get that football out.
So that sets up a 3rd and 1 after an 8-yard gain. And now Brady, who picks up a ton of first downs with sneaks, but this is going to be really close. And it's going to be a first down. So Tom Brady, of course, he does that a lot from the 1-yard line, the 1.5, and when he needs a first down very often, this is how he gets it.
I'm not sure he even set a snap count here. One of the great advantages the quarterback and the center have is that you can basically move your hands up and the center knows you're ready for the football. But when there's no snap count, a lot of times the defense is a second slow to react, and you can pick up that first down.
And he's done it a ton through the years. He does it again here. Empty backfield. Look at that protection. Also, the coverage is terrific by Seattle. And now Brady's going to launch one all the way downfield into double coverage and have it picked off at the 21-yard line. Deshaun Shedd, and that's the first interception thrown by the Patriots this season. So Brady extends the play, moving around, and goes for the bomb and gets picked.
You know, did a great job moving around the pocket, but I don't know if this ball slipped because it got nowhere close to where he was trying to throw this football. Tom Brady, maybe at age 29, gets it there with no problem, but you could see this ball just had absolutely nothing on it by the time he reset his feet. It just floated. That was an easy one, and so far Deshaun Shedd's having a big game here.
Shedd's first interception of the season. Brady's first interception since last season. And so after they almost turned it over, had it reversed, they do turn it over. And now from the 24-yard line, Prosise, the Notre Dame rookie, for a gain of 7. 2nd and 3.
I tell you, I am so impressed with what I'm seeing out of this offensive line now of Seattle. That time it was Justin Britt getting down on the inside linebacker and knocking him off his feet. They may have finally sort of put this thing together. It looked like it was just never going to be able to work the right way, and they didn't spend much money on it. But so far, they are doing a great job, and so is C.J. Prosise.
2nd and 3. Prosise. You know, you talked about the New England offensive line, and one of the reasons that the Seattle, you know, I said trouble up front, is you take a look at the salary cap, and you take a look at the what these guys are: undrafted, a 4th rounder, a 2nd rounder. Fetty's a 1st rounder, but he's a rookie, and Gilliam undrafted. You know, it's almost like they went to Filene's basement for the offensive line. Speaking of Boston, as long as they're here.
They've got money to spend on superstars elsewhere. They didn't spend a lot there, but so far those guys are delivering.
Now Alex Collins, a rookie, is in the backfield. And going downfield, and you've got contact, and it's broken up. Logan Ryan breaking it up, intended for Jermaine Kearse.
You know, Logan Ryan's one of those guys. He probably runs a 4.5, and there's 1,000 different reasons you don't want him to be your starting quarterback on the outside. And all he does is make plays like this, and he does it consistently, and he makes big tackles, and he does a lot of things really well. And you could tell they took a shot. They made a trade for Eric Rowe. They started him the last couple of games, and then you just put this guy back in, and he keeps making plays.
7:48 to go in the half. 2nd down and 10. And they give it to the rookie Alex Collins at the 38-yard line. Ball came out. bunch of Seahawks are going to get there. Is Collins.
Yeah, Collins.
Yeah, 5th-round rookie out of Arkansas.
Rolling a Seattle ball, 3rd down.
Okay, he was down.
His right knee sort of buckled and may have gone straight to the ground fast enough before this ball came out. Watch his right knee just sort of, it's out.
That ball's out.
That ball, who got it? Did they have a clear recovery here?
If they have a clear recovery, then New England can challenge it. Well, that's the question. I mean, clearly it's a fumble.
Well, the Patriots came out of there with the ball. Just a matter if you can see it on the replay.
Yeah, that would be a hard one. Belichick, I'm sure, getting advice from upstairs and decides that they will not win it. So they pass on the challenge. The play clock winding down. Wilson rolling to his left. It's a free play with the offside and incomplete. Baldwin, the intended receiver,
Rolling on
calling
the
the
field
coverage.
is an incomplete pass.
But you have a flag as well.
Offside. Defense, number 95. 5-yard penalty. Replay, 3rd down.
Chris Long, so that makes it 3rd down and 3.
Yeah. Going against George Fant, of course, he got the offsides, but watch Fant recover and come back around, because with Russell Wilson, one guy very rarely gets him on the ground by himself. So here comes the spin out move. Now with the offsides, a free play, and Doug Baldwin just couldn't hang on to it.
3rd and 3. Brings Procise back into the backfield. Wilson, and he can't escape this time. Rob Ninkovich. Been doing that for a lot of years for the Patriots. 11th season, gets the sack. 4th down.
Rob Ninkovich, they're playing him and leaving him back outside. Watch him get a jam here and then come in and just run over C.J. Procise. That's going to be the question with Procise. Can he hold up in protection? But Ninkovich has not played well since coming back from that suspension. That was a big play there.
Missed the first 4 games of the season. It's his first sack of the year. John Ryan's kick is fielded in the middle of the field at the 15 by Cyrus Jones. And the special teams coverage is good. 6 minutes to go in the half. 12-7 Hawks.
One thing you do not do is try to throw deep against Richard Sherman. We have seen this over the years. Here's a guy with 29 interceptions since 2011. That's the most in the National Football League. And yet people continue to try and challenge him deep. You can beat him occasionally on other plays, but Tom Brady was telling us, listen, I have learned the hard way over the years. There's just no reason. The first time I saw that guy, I was like, who is this? I didn't even know who he was. Tried a couple deep throws, no more.
That was at the end of the game when Sherman said, "You mad, bro?" and tweeted it out. Catch is made by Martellus Bennett, and he'll get ridden out of bounds by K.J. Wright, close to a 1st down. You back to 2012. There it is. It's the last time these two teams faced each other. And at the end of the Super Bowl, it was Brady who was the victor. And Sherman went over to congratulate him.
Yeah, Richard Sherman's side of the story is that Tom Brady was the one talking trash in that game, and so he brought it back at the end of that game.
2nd and 1. Brady's going to do it again. I think that's about 87 times out of 95 or such where he picks up a first. That's actually a 2nd down play, but on 3rd and 4th and 1, he's close to 90%.
Watch how casually he's standing there at the line of scrimmage. He doesn't look like, so you just sort of lull the defense to sleep here. He's pointing, doesn't even, looks around like, and boom, and just does it. And that's the difference with him. He's able to sort of fool the defense on that play.
Now Blunt, he will wrestle his way up to the 34-yard line. The Patriots went 75 yards on their first drive, but they picked up only 22 yards since.
They keep trying to run those trap plays, that time bringing Marcus Cannon across the formation. But I think after the first drive, Seattle has reacted a little bit better to that.
2nd and 7. They put Edelman in the backfield. James White is split, and Julian goes into the slot. The pass is caught by Edelman, and he's going to get taken down, and a flag. He's got taken down by the head. Richard Sherman said, "Hey, no, I got him by the shoulder," and the official says, "I'm right here."
I tell you, after last week on that field goal where he put his, I tend to believe Richard Sherman when he'll tweet it out afterwards and prove he's right.
Well, the proof is in the
Personal
replay
foul.
pudding.
Face mask. Defense number 25. 15-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
We told you don't throw deep, but you can take a guy like Julian Edelman and with Richard Sherman in the slot, make some things happen. That is not the strength of Richard Sherman, and it is the strength of Julian Edelman. And is there a face mask? It was the shoulder originally.
Well, I tell you,
I think he's right again.
Yeah, I think so too. Brady throwing, and that's incomplete, and Gronkowski gets popped. Well, he took a shot. Chancellor is there, and Thomas. That is not a sandwich you want to wind up in.
Perfect play defensively. Watch Cam Chancellor right here. He's going to knock this ball out, and then Earl Thomas is going to make Gronkowski pay. You cannot draw it up any better than that. Make that big guy pay a price for coming over the middle. No shot to the head. Perfectly done by both those guys. That's the reason this defense has been so good for so long.
2nd down and 10. Gronkowski a little woozy, and of course under these circumstances today, you're going to be walked off the field.
Nothing illegal, nothing dirty about that play. Just good, hard football. And for Gronkowski now, they're going to have to go over and ask him a few questions.
It's the first thing they'll do with him. Bring him over to the bench. Check him out. One more look.
Chancellor with the great coverage. Earl Thomas with the big hit. That sends a message. That's where you think you can attack these guys, because so often they're a single safety in the middle of the field, so people always want to attack those seams against them. But as a safety, you want to say that's not a great idea.
Ran right into the middle of the Legion of Boom. Brady now on 2nd down throwing, and that's off the back shoulder, and it's perfectly placed, and Martellus Bennett makes the catch and picks up a first down.
Well, this is one of the things they did in the Super Bowl. They started flanking their big tight ends out. It sure is nice to have, when you have Gronkowski on the bench, a guy like Martellus Bennett on the outside with that back shoulder throw against Deshaun Shedd.
Bennett coming over in the offseason in a trade with Chicago.
Alert! Alert! 54!
Ball now at the 29-yard line. Under 4 to play. Blunt, the fullback, definitely in the game, and takes it down to the 21-yard line. Gain of 8. 2nd down.
Bobby Wagner right here. He has been playing some of the best football of his career here. That was a nice job, though, on the offensive line, coming up and getting a little bit of push. But between Bobby Wagner and the number of tackles he's had the last couple of weeks, and KJ Wright, these guys have tremendous skills at the linebacker position.
2nd and 3, and a quick flip out here to Edelman. And Julian, a little dance move to pick up the first down. Sherman with the coverage. It'll be 1st and 10 with the clock now at 3 minutes to the half.
You know, when we talked about don't challenge this defense vertically, but there are some opportunities sort of playing horizontally. Al, if you remember back in the Super Bowl, there were a lot of those kinds of plays to Julian Edelman, just sort of like in basketball, where you're just attacking a part of the zone and maybe pick this guy and work the inside edge and all those sorts of things. And I think now Tom's starting to come back to that.
And 11 passes to Shane Vereen, most of those horizontal. Brady now open is Bennett again inside the 5. He sets up a first down and goal at the 3-yard line. Beautifully designed play, executed to perfection.
Well,
First and goal.
And that's what happens when you end up getting the running game going. Now the linebackers have to try and fly over there and make a play, and you're susceptible to that ball coming back across right to the line of scrimmage now.
10th play of the drive. And that takes us to the 2-minute warning. That much time left in a good first half. Seattle 12, New England 7 on Sunday Night Football. Gronkowski obviously answered the questions to the satisfaction of the medics on the sideline, so he is back in. They line him up tight. Blunt is the running back. It's a first and goal. With 2 minutes to go. LeGarrette Blunt. And still trying to surge forward. Sherman is in there on the tackle. It'll be second down and goal.
You know, to me, it's never enough to just be a one-dimensional guy. Watch Richard Sherman come off the edge here. I think he is one of the purest tacklers for a cornerback that there is. And they do a great job in Seattle training everybody to tackle. They go in and then they start the twisting motion. They work on it. But he is a top-notch cover guy that is willing to go in and make those kinds of plays.
11th play of the drive. Brady and a loft one for Gronkowski. He's going to get a flag. So Averill saying it's not a penalty. Official says no, and that's going to make it first and goal from the 1.
Yeah, a little bit of a gimmick defense there on the part of Chris Richard. You're going to drop your pass rusher.
Holding defense number 56. Half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
Yeah, this is not exactly who you draw up to cover Gronkowski. He's plenty athletic enough, but it's almost like you're rolling the dice. You're going to play and go attack them and go attack the run. Then when it's a pass, you just scramble and hold.
From the 1. Give it to Blunt, and he will work his way, waiting for the call, and there it is, touchdown. Just keeps on churning those legs.
This may be the farthest I've ever seen anybody on the goal line at contact go sideways and not score a touchdown. He must have gotten pushed. Chancellor's going to push him. Here comes the rest of them, and he's still going to fight his way through. What a play. I mean, that's the entire defense. Taba Rubin's there, and he just would not give up. LeGarrette Blunt, the perfectly named running back.
Well, and perfectly named in terms of what he can do after contact. Since 2010, when he came into the league, he leads the league in yards after contact, averaging about 2.5. All he needed at that time was 1. Gostkowski for the extra point. 65 seconds left in the first half. Patriots back on top, 14-12. The NASCAR Championship coming away on NBC. Can Jimmy Johnson win his record-tying 7th title? That's next Sunday. Earlier today, Joey Logano catching a spot in the championship 4, joining Johnson, Carl Edwards, and Kyle Busch. You'll see it next weekend, Sunday here on NBC. And Seattle will start from the 25 after the touchback. Sunday Night Football being brought to you by BMW. We only make one thing, the ultimate driving machine. By Subway, try the Reuben stacked with corned beef. Limited time only. By USAA, official military appreciation sponsor of the NFL. And by Bud Light, make the right call and drink responsibly. Veterans Day weekend. Green Beret Nate Boyer served as the keynote speaker in the ceremony at Boston Seaport District.
Thanks to you all.
You bet. Seattle, all of its timeouts remain. Ball from the 25. And a little loft pass that will go nowhere. As Coleman was right there to take care of Procise. Steps out of bounds, 4 seconds off the clock, 1:01 left.
Well, we saw him in the Super Bowl about 31 seconds go straight down the field before the half, so who knows? You certainly don't want to turn around here and give it back to Tom Brady either, though, so you really have to play both ways in this one.
Little element of danger on that pass.
It was.
Throwing a changeup horizontally. 2nd down and 9 from the 26. Only a 2-man rush. So you've got 9 guys in coverage, and the pass is incomplete. Lockett, the intended receiver. 3rd and 9. Of course, you know, Seattle doesn't do a lot of exotic stuff, but these guys certainly do.
Matt Patricia, only these two. Everybody else is going back, and that's what maybe New England does better than anybody else. With a lot of times with Seattle, they play 1 or 2 coverages great. With New England, it is as multiple as you can possibly imagine.
You have 9 guys covering 5 receivers. 3rd and 9.
Now they may come blitz. No, back out.
And the catch is made up at the 40. So Jimmy Graham, big 1st down here as they make sure that New England's not going to get the ball back with enough time for Brady. 47 seconds. Timeout, Seattle. So at halftime, what a game. Dallas and Pittsburgh, with Dallas pulling off at the end. How about those Titans? They win. They beat Green Bay. Mariota throws 4. Mike Tirico looking ahead to the Saints and the Panthers, which you'll see on NBC on Thursday night. All coming up at halftime. 2 timeouts for Seattle now. You got 48 seconds and a 1st down from the 40-yard line.
Both linebackers up again. They've been dropping out from there.
They drop out again. And Wilson moving, and he's going to stop with a timeout at the 46-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 4. Quarterback comparison, the numbers right there. Wilson has been sacked twice. Brady throwing his first interception of the season. 2-point game. 2nd down and 4 from the Seattle 46.
Procise out wide. You have to keep an eye on him.
5 receivers. Again, only a 2-man rush. Now they send the man in delayed and open at the 34-yard line, and making the catch is Tyler Lockett. And Seattle is going to use its final timeout right here with 31 seconds.
Al, that's a great job by Russell Wilson right there. If they're going to rush 2, you have to take your time, because in zone defenses, they get spread wide the longer you hold the football. Russell Wilson learned from the first mistake. He ended up throwing this exact route short. This time a 2-man rush. He just stood there. Great protection on those 2 guys. Then comes back late for a big play. Now they're already in field goal range.
Only God knows what field goal range is in the NFL these days.
I'm telling you.
We've been there before. Hauschka in that overtime game missed one in Arizona. So did Catanzaro. And the game wound up in a tie. 31 seconds. 1st down at the 30-yard line.
Don't you think Russell Wilson's looking like Russell Wilson now? I mean, those 2 throws to the left and moving around. He's not running for big yards, but he's starting to play like Russell Wilson again.
Last Monday night and tonight for sure. Now Wilson fires over the middle. Procise is going to get it to the 19. They don't have a timeout, so they want to get up there and get to the line of scrimmage. Going to spike it here or run a play. Precious seconds taken off the clock. 14 seconds now. Wilson dancing around.
You better be careful here.
Yeah, very. And then in the catch is Doug Baldwin. He gets free for the touchdown.
Wow.
Very much like the Super Bowl at the end of the 1st half.
Speaking of Russell Wilson playing like Russell Wilson, how about that play? I'm thinking if he makes some short completion, they're not going to get a field goal off, and he still has time to survey the field. If he'd have taken a sack, complete control and throws that touchdown. What a play.
Well, Chung was there at the end, but there was Ryan covering him, and you can see him looking like, who's got him? Who's got him? Nobody has him. Touchdown.
It's just what we talked about. The more time that a quarterback moves around, the more zone defenses break down, and Russell Wilson broke that one down.
Oscar for the extra point, and with 6 seconds to play in the half, Seattle has the lead. So back and forth we have gone on the scoreboard tonight, and the Seahawks are up 19-14. In honor of Veterans Day, for every point scored during the NFL's 32 Salute to Service games, the league donates $1,000 to its military nonprofit partners, including the Pat Tillman Foundation, USO, and Wounded Warrior Project. To join the salute, learn more, visit NFL.com/salute. Patriot players making a special visit to Joint Base Cape Cod on Monday to lead a flag football scrimmage for those who work on the base. Joe Cardona is the long snapper, ensign in the Navy, graduate of the Naval Academy in Annapolis in 2015. Now a bouncing ball picked up at the 23-yard line. And this is James Devlin. And that will take us to the break. Good first half. Very interesting. A little bit crazy. 19-14. Join at halftime coming up next after these messages from your local station.
Tonight's first half highlights are brought to you by Chevrolet.
Stand up and cheer, stomp your feet, stop clapping. NBC Sunday night about to happen.
And they go to Baldwin, and he makes the catch. He beats Butler for the touchdown. Give it to Blunt. Just keeps on churning those legs.
What a play. Better be careful here.
Yeah, very. And then wide open, making the catch is Doug Baldwin.
Chevrolet, the most awarded car company 2 years in a row.
The back and forth first half here. Seattle on top 19-14. High above downtown Boston there. Back to Foxboro now. Russell Wilson, there are his numbers. 197 yards and 2 touchdowns both to Baldwin. Brady got off to a hot start through his first interception of the season then. 11-16. Baldwin with those 4 catches. Hadn't scored in 5 games, but he's been into the end zone twice tonight. And Blunt, 2 rushing touchdowns. Now has 11 this season.
You know, Al, we talk all the time about, you know, the Patriots being the team that doubles up. Now we've got Seattle with a chance to double up after that touchdown to end the half.
They deferred at the outset. Then New England marched down the field, but as they did in that Super Bowl 2 years ago, Seattle scoring at the end of the first half, and now they get the ball to start the third quarter. Skowski's kick goes through the end zone. Seattle to the 25-yard line.
Well, here it is, the last drive, and obviously the strategy was, let's make Russell Wilson beat us from the pocket. They did not bring pressure throughout that drive, and Russell Wilson started to show some of the mobility, and he took his time, and he made them pay, and he stretched those zones. And as he moved around, big things started happening for this Seattle offense. I wonder if we're going to see a little change of strategy here in half number 2. That strategy worked in the Super Bowl, but that was kind of so 2 years ago. Russell Wilson's figured out how to throw from the pocket now.
Answers forthcoming. We start here. Fake to Procise. Pass caught here on the outside by Jimmy Graham. That's a gain of 3. Devin McCourty making the tackle. Second down.
You know, Jimmy Graham, for all the things that he's done on the football field, maybe just getting back in the lineup after that devastating injury that he had. And I think even he doubted whether or not he was ever going to come back. Couldn't even jog until June. And now here he is playing at a very high level.
Patellar tendon incurred during the middle of the season last year. He came over in that big trade with the Saints. And now up to the 32-yard line goes Procise, tackled by Branch, and we go to Michelle.
Well, Al, it was week 12 of last year when Jimmy Graham tore his patellar tendon, and he told us when he first looked down, his kneecap was up in his quadriceps. Now, the patella tendon connects the kneecap to the shin bone, and because the tendon and kneecap are both connected to the four muscles of the quadriceps, regaining quad strength is really difficult, and the injury has the worst return to play rate of all knee injuries in the NFL.
Hurts just to think about it. 3rd down and 3 at the 32-yard line. Wilson, the line doing its job here, and then he almost has it intercepted by Hightower. Try to get it over him to Baldwin, and is lucky that wasn't picked. 4th down.
Do not underestimate the athleticism of Dante Hightower. Here he is right here. Going to drop out and almost went sky high to go get this one. Try to lob it up over his head. He is a tremendous athlete. One of the best blitzing linebackers that there is in the National Football League, too.
John Ryan's second punt. First one was 51 yards. Fielded at the 14, and Jones with a flag down, which will more than likely negate most of that run back. Takes it back to the 35. Referee Gene Steratore.
During the return, personal foul, clipping, receiving team number 22, half the distance to the goal, 1st down New England, timeout.
That is Justin Coleman moving them further back. Patriot head coaches Robert Kraft bought the team in '94. He inherited Bill Parcells from the previous regime. Then Pete Carroll came in, 3 years here, pretty good record, 2 playoff appearances, and then of course he hired Bill Belichick after Belichick turned down the Jets job. So the Steelers have had only 2 coaches, Cowher and Tomlin. The Ravens have had 3, and Kraft hiring Carroll and Belichick. Pretty good combo platter.
Say pretty good eye for talent.
Right. James White up to the 25. So when Carroll comes here, remember Carroll had actually coached the Jets for 1 year in 1994, took over for Lou Holtz. And Parcells, came, and Bill had a lot of control, and that led to the rupture between Kraft and Parcells because Bill wanted control over the players. And you remember that story about, hey, you want me to cook the meal? I got to buy the groceries. So Carroll never got the control that he would have liked. Here's White to the 17, and then when Belichick came in, he gave him control, and well, we know the rest.
Yeah, Pete was going to go to work and set up a football network. He and Pat Kerwin had a big plan of what they were going to do, and he said, yeah, it didn't go so well, and I didn't like retirement. So when somebody came up with that idea and actually did it a little later, I was like, yeah, the NFL Network? I think so.
That was the year 2000. He said, no, retirement wasn't for me. And then, of course, he went on to great success at USC. And Brady gets jostled as he throws. There's a flag down, though, at the 10-yard line. Cam Chancellor on a safety blitz. And Brady needs a little extra moment.
It looked like Chancellor went pretty low at Brady, and I think that may have been what was called.
Roughing the passer. Defense number 31. Low hit on the quarterback. 15-yard penalty, automatic. 1st down.
It's always so tough to tell. Marcus Cannon kind of got a piece of Chancellor coming around here. Did he knock him to the ground, or did Chancellor just go to the ground? And Brady immediately pointed. Dangerous play. We have seen a lot of quarterbacks hurt in that exact situation, and Tom's not feeling too good. That might stir the pot in this game even more.
Yep.
54's the mic.
Hasn't been sacked for 3 knockdowns, including that one. And now from the 32-yard line, exploiting that hole, goes Blunt for a gain of 7. LeGarrette Blunt now has carried the ball 13 times for 39 yards.
I don't think there's any question Nate Solder probably the best of these offensive linemen. Here he comes right there. Not only get atop of Rubin, but then get up on the linebacker Wagner as well. And with LeGarrette Blount, all you have to do is turn it into an arm tackle, and he's not going down.
2nd and 3. They bring the fullback Devlin in. Have him lead the way from Blount, who cuts it back. And then he gets smothered by Bobby Wagner. Just about the line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd and short.
You know, Al, this team probably does as well as any team as far as if they can make sure they have the edge on the outside. Think about who they have flying up on the inside. They have Cam Chancellor and Earl Thomas and Bobby Wagner. I mean, these guys get there so quickly. Even plays you think are there, they really aren't.
3rd down and 4. A lot of shuffling among the defensive personnel prior to the play. Brady now throws over the middle. Edelman gets free, still on his feet, and finally slugged it down at the 45-yard line by Deshaun Shedd. Gain of 17.
Once again, that bunch formation, and you're going to have to try with all this motion going this way to fight your way through these pick plays, and they just couldn't get to Edelman. Shedd couldn't. And one of the things they were really concerned about was Edelman and his ability to break tackles. He's not a big guy, but just a hard guy to tackle. A little bit like Doug Baldwin on the other side.
Edelman tonight 3 catches, 28 yards. The ball at the Seahawk 45. Play action, and Brady's going to get sacked. Again, the secondary did its work, and Reed is able to come in, a rookie out of Alabama, their number 2 draft choice, to get the sack.
All you have to do is make Tom Brady hold the ball. He can only have time to look at 1 or 2 guys. Here's Gronkowski with Wagner out there. But that was really some play by Jaron Reed just to completely blow right through Shaq Mason. And the reason he could, look at that. Reed just pushes Shaq Mason right back past Tom Brady and made the sack.
2nd sack for Reed this season in his rookie year. Brady now throws, and making the catch and picking up a lot of that necessary yardage is Bennett. So he turns a 2nd and 17 into a 3rd and about 2.
The 2 best tight ends in football, yards per catch, and you can see why. There's just so much you can do, even if you're running with them. Remember, they hit a lot of deep passes to those tight ends, so you have to play the front shoulder, and all of a sudden they're throwing that back shoulder, and linebackers, even talented ones and safeties, have a tough time with that one.
3rd and 2, play clock at 1. Brady fires over the middle, finds his man, finds Danny Amendola. His first catch of the night to the 25, tackled by Thomas. 1st down, New England.
They're paying so much attention now to Julian Edelman underneath. Watch, he's going to be right in here, and the linebacker is going to suck up to try and take him away, and then Brady just throws it right in behind him. See Edelman there, and then here comes Wagner, but there's nobody then back deep to make that play. Good play by quarterback Tom Brady.
Brady's completed 15 passes tonight, only 4 to wide receivers. Now to the ground again. There's Blount off to the races, close to a 1st down. They bring that fullback in, Devlin. He really does a great job. When he's in the game, you can almost be guaranteed that 29 is going to get the ball.
You know, Rob Gronkowski does such a great job catching the ball. We all know that. But what makes him a great all-pro is that he does this. Here out on Brock Coyle, and just going to open up that edge. Kick him out. On the other side, you've got Bennett, and he is going to almost take Cliff Averill to the ground. Having that combination and having the ability to split him out wide as well, almost unstoppable.
Devlin ran Wagner over. Now Blount again, left side all the way, and touchdown. Three touchdowns. He leads the league in touchdowns with 12. And Mr. Devlin with the assist again.
Well, let's start with Martellus Bennett right out here. Watch this block. That's the first one you need to get to the edge. Perfectly done. And then, Al, as you said, fullback James Devlin, he comes around, he gets Deshaun Shedd, and here we go. You don't see teams very often get the edge against Seattle. New England successful on that drive doing it.
So for the third time tonight, New England has the lead. And Gostowski in for the extra point. And with 7:52 to go in the third in the marquee matchup here in Foxboro, 21-19 New England. Mark Wahlberg is here tonight. He's the executive producer of a new thriller conspiracy series, Shooter, starring Ryan Phillippe as a Marine veteran on the run, trying to clear his name. It premieres this Tuesday at 10/9 Central on the USA Network. There's a t-shirt on a 51-degree night here in New England. Good ball game, 21-19. Patriots on top. And once again, the kickoff results in a touchback. So it's the supermoon. The moon is closer to the earth tonight than it has been in 68 years. We wouldn't lie to you. Monday's #1 new drama, Timeless, travels to 1972 for the biggest presidential scandal in history. Timeless, you'll see it tomorrow right here on NBC. Seahawks have the ball for the second time in the second half. Down by 2. And the pass is caught over the middle. That is Doug Baldwin, who has 2 touchdowns tonight, tackled by Butler. Gain of 6, second down and 4.
There's your leading sacker if you are a Patriots fan. He played 12 snaps in the first half. 3.5 sacks on the year. If there is a fatal flaw on this Patriots team, I believe it's their inability to get pressure. And obviously, Bill Belichick wanting to take a look tonight at Trey Flowers, who's come up with a couple of sacks here in the last few games.
The way things are going, you can see Sheard in Cleveland next week. Never mind. 2nd and 4. Wilson throws, and that's wide open. That is caught by Paul Richardson, and he goes all the way to the 30-yard line. Over the middle, Richardson gets dead free, and over the middle for a gain of 39.
Well, you go the hard play action, and then you come in. You have on the other side the receiver clearing out deep, and there's that big void. If you can force those linebackers, this case Dante Hightower, just to step up far enough to get that pass in over the top of him.
Richardson has caught 2 tonight for 52 yards at the 30 now. With 6.5 left in the quarter. Making his way for a gain of 3 through the middle. Goes Procise. Well, I'll tell you, Seattle offensively tonight, that's 303 yards in 2.5 quarters.
Watch the move by C.J. Procise here. Looked like he was going to be dead to rights in the hole as Landon Roberts stepped up. George Fant got just enough of him to knock him off. But you can see now why everybody in Seattle was so excited about the possibilities with C.J. Procise.
So you got Patricia, you got Bevel going at each other. 2nd down and 7. Play action, and not turning around, get a flag here. Nothing but blue shirts. You had Graham going down the seam.
Now Dante Hightower just gave a shove to Jimmy Graham at about 8 or 9 yards, and that was pretty easy. Just a matter now, was it pass interference or illegal contact?
Defense, number 54. Spot on the foul, automatic. First down.
You see Hightower right there. There's the shot. It was hard to tell if the ball was in the air or not. Pretty close. But you know, it is interesting, no matter what you think of Jamie Collins and all the other stuff, there is sort of a connection between starting inside linebackers. So you end up now sort of starting over again with Landon Roberts. and those two guys just working together.
Patriots coming into the game middle of the pack in total defense, but when it comes to giving up points, they're second best in the league coming into the weekend to the Vikings. Give up a lot of yardage, but haven't been giving up a lot of points. From the 20. Precise again. 17.
To me, the most shocking development of this game is how well this Seattle offensive line is playing, and they're doing it in multiple ways. They're pulling their young offensive linemen out in front. They're playing a little power on the outside with their rookie Jermaine Ifedi. Gilliam, who's not always known as an overpowering guy. Nice double team with Brandon Williams, the young tight end out there. Doing a lot of really good things. Tom Cable has done a job with this bunch.
Already 77 rushing yards for Seattle, which about equals their season average, and they've done that in less than 3 quarters as a little pass to the outside is caught by Precise. He'll take the ball to the 7-yard line, and Seattle will have a first down and goal.
Yeah, I think Dante Hightower here was a little confused. He was coming off the edge, and I think it had to be his coverage guy coming right there in Precise because nobody went with him. Maybe Hightower just thought that nobody was blocking and let me go get the quarterback, but you could tell by the way he was just sort of half speed going in there. He was a little confused on that one.
Baldwin comes over to the right side. Butler goes with him. Now they swing it to Precise, and Butler is there to stop him at about the 5-yard line along with Nikovic. Second down and goal.
Remember what I was saying about Richard Sherman being a great cover guy and making tackles? Same thing goes for Malcolm Butler. It really does. He is unafraid. Those two guys, you want to be a really good player, go to the Pro Bowl, fine. That's fine. You can do that as a coverage guy. You want to be something more than that, be an all-pro, go to the Hall of Fame one day, make plays in the Super Bowl to win it and make tackles like that.
Second and goal. This time Butler goes with Curse, who sets up on the right side. And Wilson is going to get spun down and sacked at the 15 by Trey Flowers. That's his second-year guy out of Arkansas. Picked in the 4th round last year. And as Chris mentioned, was Sheard not seeing much action tonight. It's been Trey.
Mark Lewinsky's going to miss this time. And Trey Flowers, I remember him so well playing in college. He was an all-out effort guy. I don't think he's one of those stunningly athletic, huge pass rushers. He just was relentless. And I really thought that he might turn into a pro. And apparently Bill Belichick believes the same thing. He's put his leading sacker on the bench tonight.
Third down goal from the 13. Wilson under pressure again, but he escapes. Keeps his eyes downfield. And he can't escape this time. He gets out of the pocket. And there's no flag for grounding, even though he was going to the ground. And really no receiver in the area. Now a flag comes in, so it may be a delayed call.
Yeah, I mean, there was somebody up there, but it was an offensive lineman.
Yep. Belichick says move them back. They're still going to be in field goal range.
Chris Long with the initial contact. Just couldn't quite hold on.
Well, they got to the 5.
Intentional grounding. Offense, number 3. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Loss of down. 4th down.
That makes it 4th down. And they're going to spot the ball. Get in the second around the 26-yard line.
So outside the tackle box, but not back to the line of scrimmage, and no receiver in the area. That's a bad combination, and bring out the field goal kicker.
Make it the 23 where they spot it. So you've got a 41-yard field goal. They had gotten down to the 5-yard line. Hauschka to try to give Seattle the lead. Ryan puts it down, and Hauschka's kick is good. 2:52 left in the third. 22-21 Seahawks. Sunday Night Football being brought to you by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That is transparency. By Toyota. Let's go places by Navy Federal Credit Union, proudly serving the armed forces and their families. And by T-Mobile, switch to the network built for unlimited data. Friday night, that's Zavarian defeating BC High for their 4th straight Division I South title, meeting with champion Everett in the Massachusetts State Championship. Way to go, guys.
Love high school football.
Yeah, you had a couple of boys went through that route.
Coach did too. It was fun.
Do we have a run back? No, we don't. Cyrus Jones downs it in the end zone. 2:52 left in the third in a 1-point game on Sunday night. For the 3rd straight year, Robert Kraft and Nike have joined together, selling the custom-made Air Force Ones that Bob Kraft always wears. A lot of other folks as well, raising a ton of money for the Boys and Girls Club of Boston. They hope to raise $500,000 this year. Brady escapes, moves in the pocket, throws, and that's caught. Still on his feet is Bennett, all the way into Seattle territory. He has been a stud tonight as Bennett takes that one for a huge game.
What do you do with these guys? If you put defensive backs in to cover one of these tight ends, they just shrink them down and then run the football. There's Tom Brady. You talked about earlier some of those movements within the pocket. Looked like he was about to take a sack, stepped right up and hit a big play.
36 yards on that play. So Bennett scored 6 tonight for 94. To 39 now. Blunt. Tough running again. 3 touchdowns already for him tonight. He gets to the 30-yard line. 2nd and 1. So with Gronk, they've thrown to him 3 times. He scored 2, but 6 for 6 for Bennett. So his brother looking on. He didn't make the trip. Michael back in Seattle. And at least the bros having some night.
They are 2 really top-end players. I tell you who else is playing well tonight. LeGarrette Blount. 3 rushing touchdowns already tonight. Now leads the league with a career-high 12.
What do you want?
Bennett's 2 of our favorite guys to have in meetings.
Let's start with it.
Which is something interesting and funny to say. 2nd and 1. And Blount will pick up the first down, getting to the 27-yard line. 1.5 minutes to go in the quarter.
I tell you, the other thing that we really need to talk about is Dante Scarnecchia and the difference he's made with this New England offensive line. They were in a bit of disarray a season ago. A lot of injuries, moving people in and out, shuffling around. This year they've been able to stick pretty much with the same lineup, and that guy never asks anybody's opinion. He tells them exactly what he wants to do, and you can see the uptick in their performance this season.
Retired for the last 2 years. Walsham got him back, and then the pass is dropped. Gronkowski over the middle. Might have heard Cam Chancellor coming in on little cat feet.
Yeah, I think Atabe Rubin may have tipped this ball. Let's take a look. Number 77. Yeah, like he turned it into from a punt into a kickoff. A little tumbling over the top. There's a good play by Cam Chancellor, because that could have been a 15-yarder. I'm sure he would have loved to have taken that shot.
James White now in the backfield. He hasn't carried or caught much tonight. Flag thrown as he takes it here, and you've got 2 pieces of laundry down on the field.
Now, James White actually has more receptions than he does rushes on the season. That's unusual for a running back.
Was his 2nd carry of the night.
Offense number 62. 10-yard penalty. Replay. 2nd down.
For rookie Joe Tooney, who was picked in the 3rd round out of North Carolina State.
Watch Frank Clark right here on this spin move. Come around Tooney. And he kind of hooked that right arm around him. I'm not so sure it was Tooney that pulled him out of there as much as it was just the momentum from that spin.
2nd and 20. Patriots 5 wide. It'll be a false start to make it a second and 25.
Offense number 87, 5-yard penalty, second down.
And you're backing your way right out of field goal range now. So now, as much as you want to go play for the touchdown, you first have to ensure you're going to be in a spot you can kick this field goal. We haven't heard anything from Chris Hogan tonight, number 15. He's been their big play, deep threat on the other side of Richard Sherman.
Second and 25. It's like you smelled it out, even though Shed was right with him. There is Hogan. Spent the last few years with Buffalo. So they brought him in. I mean, you look at their receivers, of course, what they love to do is go with that double tight end set. They got Gronkowski and they got Bennett. And then Hogan comes in. He's been a nice addition to go with Edelman, Amendola, and Malcolm Mitchell, the rookie out of Georgia.
Yeah, when Tom Brady came back, he didn't know really that much about Chris Hogan. He hadn't thrown to him, so they spent a lot of time after practice, before practice, trying to get used to him. But you could tell just no timing on that one.
Third and 25. And Brady deep downfield for Edelman, makes the catch. He had help over the top. Earl Thomas came in. Sherman was in the area. But he makes the catch here, and that's going to be the end of the third quarter. To a first and goal from a third and long. End of 3, 22-21, Sunday Night Football. Back after these messages. First and goal as we start the fourth quarter. Al Michaels with Chris Collinsworth and Michelle Tafoya. Sunday Night Football. Patriots 7-1 coming in. Seattle 5-2-1. We've had 5 lead changes in this game. And on the verge of a 6th here.
Look how happy Pete is. He loves being in these kinds of games.
From the 9. Blunt. He gets tripped up in the backfield. Chancellor came slicing in to stop him in his tracks. It'll be second down and goal.
Let's take a look at how subtle the National Football League is. Watch Tom Brady here. He gave Julian Edelman just a little tap on his hip, and that meant, here we go, we're going deep. And then it's Julian Edelman with just a little subtle shove at the top end of that route to make it work. So Brady saw it. Subtle sign, subtle push off, subtle big gain.
Got by Deshaun Shed on that play. A second down and goal. Brady flushed out. Brady's going to try to take it in, and he slides to a stop at the 5-yard line. Third and goal.
And Jeremy Lanes better be glad he didn't hit Tom Brady there with that forearm when he came over the top. Might have started a riot in here.
Lane had an interception against Brady in the Super Bowl, but wound up getting hurt.
Yeah, really hurt.
Really hurt.
ACL, broken arm. It really kind of turned that game.
Same play. Third and goal. Brady under pressure, getting by the shirt, and down he goes at the 13-yard line. Frank Clark, their second leading sacker, comes in to knock him down, and they'll have to settle for a field goal attempt.
What a great play by Clark here, coming off the edge, just going to power right through Nate Solder, who's their best offensive lineman, and watch, just going to grab him with one hand and pull him to the ground. He couldn't have had more than 3 fingers on him, yanking that jersey and pulled him straight back.
7.5 sacks now for Clark. Averill leads the team with 9. Gostowski now for a 30-yard field goal, and there is your 6th lead change of the night. Exactly 13 minutes to go in regulation. 24-22, New England.
Well, your team's always been good at keeping outside distractions on the outside. Given the nature of this presidential race,
Seattle.
Did you find it helpful to talk to your players about this? Have any of your players talked to you about this?
Seattle.
Concerns about any locker room rancor as a result of this?
Well, we had 4 Seattles. I mean, how often have we seen that? He is a master at that. And of course, he can get away with all of that. He doesn't have to be a PR guy, not with that track record. And a good run back here by Lockett takes it all the way out to the 40-yard line. You talk about a guy who eliminates all distractions, right? It doesn't matter what you ask him. It doesn't matter what's going on. It's his ball club. And look, 17 years. What can you say? A lot of people think he may be the greatest coach in the history of the National Football League. Certainly in the conversation.
Yeah, no question about that. And he maintains a personal life, and he keeps it private. And no matter what anybody wants to say about it, he has an opportunity to do things outside of football, and he feels no obligation to answer for that.
He does have a sense of humor. There's no question about that. 37-yard line. Wilson will dump it off as he got chased in the backfield, and it's Graham taking the ball all the way to the 44-yard line. So the pressure was put on, a little lob pass, and a gain of 19 yards.
Here's one of those naked bootlegs, and what makes this interesting is they leave the guy on the end of the line of scrimmage unblocked, and in that way you can really sell out on the run play, and then it allows your quarterback to get out, flip it over the top, big play.
4 catches tonight, 48 yards for Graham, and a swing out here. Procise gets upended by Malcolm Butler.
It's always exciting to see new young players come in, isn't it? I mean, Procise against Malcolm Butler, and they're all going all out. But I think we're seeing a little bit of how Procise is going to be used. The one time he was asked to pass protect, it didn't go so well. Now they're just getting him out of the backfield, and if pressure is going to come from his guy, flip him the ball, see what he can do.
Carried 12 times, 51 yards, so over 4 yards per tote, and he's caught 5 for 42 yards. And here's his 18th handle of the night. And around the corner he goes before he is shoved out of bounds. Lewinsky helping to lead the way, and now you've got a 3rd down and 6.
Well, now we're getting down to it a little bit, and I think for most top-end coaches, the philosophy at this point is not which player you're going to run, it's which player are you going to get it to. And on this team, typically that is Jimmy Graham or that is Doug Baldwin. So we'll see.
Spread it out. 5 wide, and Wilson, he called for timeout. Did he get it was the question. He called for it. The ball was snapped.
And it will be a 30-second timeout.
They did get the timeout. Close.
Yeah, but a wasted timeout this early in the half. We'll keep an eye on that. But it certainly is better than what the possibility could have been there with that snap.
Tonight's aerial coverage high above Gillette Stadium in Foxboro, being brought to you by Geico.
Well, if you're a fan of football, you love seeing Russell Wilson back doing his thing now. He likes to get away from the line of scrimmage so he can see the field. Remember, he's not the tallest guy in the world, but he has this big rocket arm, and he has the ability to get it out so quickly. Very clean motion, 0.32. That's right up there in the top echelon of all quarterbacks. We saw him throw that deep ball on Monday night. He launched that thing to Doug Baldwin.
3rd and 6 from the 40. And Wilson going deep, and the catch is made at the 5-yard line. Procise setting up a 1st down and goal. Roberts was back there, the linebacker. You had McCourty coming over the top, 38 yards on a 3rd down and 6.
What a great read. First of all, by Russell Wilson to realize that was man coverage. Secondly, to see this former wide receiver from Notre Dame lined up on a Landon Roberts, a linebacker on the outside with all that field, brilliant all the way around. Pete Carroll loves it.
From the 2. Gilliam is eligible to tackle and get Procise, and he gets whacked at the 1-yard line. 2nd and goal.
Yeah, and Procise not a big guy, so this is going to be a challenge for him, just like pass protection down here. But I don't think they're going to put Kristen Michael in because of the injury that he has, and Alex Collins got it one time and fumbled the ball. So Thomas Rawls not quite ready. Maybe we'll see him, but now it's just going to fall on C.J. Procise to win this game.
Bringing a fullback, Will Tukuafu. So he fronts Procise on a 2nd and goal. Rookie has it again, and Procise. We're waiting. We're waiting. Line judge comes in. Head linesman come in. 3rd down. Stopped him short.
Well, you can't get better than this right here, because you're going to get a kick out here by the fullback, and you're just going to get met at the goal line, and obviously a bigger back, a Marshawn Lynch for sure, is going to score here, but Procise being smaller got driven back.
3rd and goal. And I think Carroll is going to challenge that. Well, you saw it and we saw it. Is there a clear enough view to show that he got into the end zone? If he loses this challenge, he'll be down to 1 timeout.
I don't think Pete wants any more. Oh, that's a touchdown.
Yeah, should be.
I mean, they can always say they blew the whistle, I guess.
Seattle is challenging the ruling on the field that the previous runner was short of the goal line. Timeout.
Well, well, well. More drama. Back after this. Still looking at this thing right now. We don't think that it's going to be overturned because the ball is clearly over the goal line. The question now becomes, when is his knee down? Now, they can review this play from all of the different angles. They can stitch it together, but there's no clarity as to exactly when the knee is down as opposed to the ball. The ball is clearly over the goal line, so you know that. The question is, what about the knee? If the call stands, it's going to be 3rd down and goal. They're going to lose a timeout. They'll be down to 1. Steratore still going over things.
Typically in this situation, the league has been standing with the call on the field.
And the call on the field was he didn't get in. Here comes Steratore.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. It will be 3rd down, Seattle at the half-yard line. Seattle is charged with the 2nd time out of the half, and Seattle also has 1 timeout remaining and 1 challenge remaining in the game.
If I had to guess, Chris, I would say that somebody upstairs said the ball is over the goal line. That brought forth the challenge flag, but you still didn't know when the knee went down.
You know, 1 yard between these two teams means a lot. We've been to enough of these games.
How about a few inches?
Oh my goodness, you can't help but flash back a little bit.
3rd and goal from about the 11-inch line. Procise is the running back. Now you got action up front, and who's this one going to be on? It's going to move it back to the 5. It's going to be against Seattle, at least for the moment.
Well, what a great call by Matt Patricia. They do a hard shift with their defensive line, and it forced the offensive line to jump. It's like a hard count coming out on the goal line. Great job by Patricia. There you go, and now you see why Pete Carroll challenged that thing. They're going to shift down, and as soon as they do that, you saw the flinch.
False start. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Everybody's on pins and needles when you're down there in that goal line situation. Everybody's low, and you know, you're just thinking, I got to drive this guy out here, and all of a sudden you see somebody move, and you move. It's just, it happens a lot. But there is nothing that goes unnoticed with these two coaches. There never has been.
Carroll working the sidelines. The ball comes back to the 5.5, and it's 3rd down and goal. Lockett comes to the left side. And the pass is too high. So they went from a possible touchdown and a 1st and goal to a field goal attempt, which will still give them the lead.
Curse is going to come down and try and set a pick and not be caught doing it. Just turns around and they miss the throw. That's the 2nd throw we've seen Russell Wilson tonight overthrow in that kind of a situation.
23-yard attempt for Hauschka. This will be his 4th of the night. And there, gang, is your 7th lead change of the night. 7 of 25-24 Seahawks. Next Sunday night, nation's capital, Green Bay. And what's going on there? Lose again today to Tennessee. 4-5 are the Packers. Redskins, though, win. Today beat Minnesota. Washington very much in the hunt in the NFC East. The record of 5-3-1. Football night gets it started at 7 Eastern time. Paul Allen, longtime owner of the Seahawks, man who does not enjoy being in the spotlight or limelight, just goes about his work. Made his fortune at Microsoft and runs a heck of a franchise, I'll tell you that. Ball at the 2-yard line. Cyrus Jones up the middle and down the sideline. He loses the ball. And rolling over at the 43-yard line, the Patriots are going to wind up with the football. Nate Ebner, who went to the Olympics in Rio playing rugby for the U.S. team, is able to come up with the ball and save the day.
Yeah, this got very close here at the end. You saw Terrell get that ball out of there. So there was a collective deep breath around this stadium. Boy, I tell you, when these two teams get together, it's just fun to watch.
Yeah, they don't meet all that often, but they played a 1-point game in Seattle in 2012, a classic Super Bowl, and a game tonight where you've had 7 lead changes. Apart from that, not a lot of drama.
Not a lot going on.
No.
Linebackers in the game now. You've got Brock Coyle, and it looks like he's in coverage against Martellus Bennett. So no coverage guy out there.
And Brady going to the air if he can. Brady going all the way deep downfield and incomplete. And Hogan looking around, wanting a flag. Chancellor was in the coverage. It'll be 2nd and 10. Well, the first day of the 2 games had 7 or more lead changes. I mean, that Cowboys-Steelers game was just phenomenal. Ezekiel Elliott winning it with the run through the middle at the end. Cowboys on a major roll, 8-1 with 8 straight wins. Could very well have an 8th lead change here pretty soon. 2nd down and 10. Brady fires. It's Edelman. He makes the catch at the 38th, and the ball is out. The ball is out. And it's still alive, and Richard Sherman winds up with the ball. Now the question is, was the play alive? This is clearly the type of situation where they'll look at it, and Belichick obviously can challenge when they take a look at the replay.
Ruling on the field is a fumble recovered by Seattle. 1st down.
I agree. Cam Chancellor, I think, is the one that got it out of there.
Yep.
And, you know, that's one of the things great defenses do when they get you corralled. They don't necessarily want to take you to the ground. They want somebody else to come in there and rip that sucker out of there. And there's Richard Sherman. What a shock that is.
With the fumble recovery.
Boy, how about, I mean, seriously, Seattle comes in here. They play a tough Monday night game. Across the country, fly in here, no excuses. They didn't want to hear about it at all, right, and just keep making big plays.
Don't have Michael Bennett, you know, as good as they come on the defensive side of the ball. And they're up by 1, and they have the ball.
Cam Chancellor makes a bit of a difference on this defense, doesn't he?
You can't miss him. Ball at the 48-yard line. Wilson flings that one into the bench. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
This is a time that maybe you want to think about bringing a little pressure. If you can get Seattle's offensive line in one-on-one blocking situations. Now, I know they want to keep him in the pocket and do all that stuff, but you've got to challenge some guys like George Fant and Mark Lewinsky and Jermaine Ifedi. Some of these young guys, you got to see if they can hold up one-on-one.
2nd and 10, keep it on the ground. And to the 42-yard line goes Procise. Big workload for him tonight. 16 carries and 6 catches.
Because as long as Glowinski and company can stay with the run game and not be forced into those one-on-one pass protections, they can get some blocks like that.
Third and 4. Under 8 minutes to go in the 4th.
Procise in the slot right there if they want him.
And a lot of 5 wide tonight to do again. Does he get the first down? He does. Makes the catch out in the flat. Taken out of bounds after he picks up the first Hightower covering. And that moves the sticks with 7.5 to go.
It's just an ordinary pick play. Once they see it's man coverage going to come down and wall off here, and Procise just buy time, go pick up the first down. Great job there by Jermaine Kearse as well. Don't go in there and hit the guy. Just make him bounce out around you and get the first down.
From the 35. Whoa. Kristen Michael. Whoa. Breaking tackles, and then he goes down. Remember, he was a question mark coming into the game. He'd been on the injury report with a hamstring. He has been their #1 back, but one C.J. Procise, I think, has taken over that role.
Yeah, I would say so too. Alan Branch got a clean shot that time on Kristen Michael, who just bounced out of there. Not many times that Alan Branch gets that clean a shot at a running back and he doesn't go to the ground.
Of course, they're also going to get Thomas Rawls back in a week or two, and that'll be big. The thing's coming together right now for the Seahawks. 2nd down and 9. Wilson throws on the run, caught at the 22-yard line. Tyler Lockett, great catch. Ryan covering in the play, stays inbounds. First down.
I mean, this is just classic Russell Wilson. He's going to see the gap to his left, sprint through there, and then, like the second baseman that he is, just flip that thing out there. It is just a different Russell Wilson than what we saw a few weeks ago. He is now playing and making the plays that we saw him make at the end of last year. I thought in the second half of last season, he was the MVP. Cam Newton was for the whole year. Second half, it was Russell Wilson.
Unbelievable. And tonight's game starts the second half. Little ghost motion on that play as Michael takes the ball to the 20-yard line. Gain of a couple. 2nd down, 8.
You know, now we're starting to see these linebackers attacking downhill. Dante Hightower now is starting to come hard across the line of scrimmage. They're going to find out, can these guys hold up in one-on-one type protections? And believe me, Hightower is the one guy, if you're a running back, you do not want to see come screaming at you.
2nd and 8. Procise, 15. An interesting play call. That took off with a fullback, cutting across horizontally, and then Procise comes back to the left.
Yeah, he has a pretty natural feel, doesn't he? It's almost amazing for a guy. He started as a safety at Notre Dame. He went on to wide receiver. We've seen some of those skills, but we're also seeing a very patient, professional-looking running back in here, and Pete Carroll knows just how to use him, and he's going, hey, catch your breath, big guy. We've got a lot of work to do.
7th time Seattle's been in the red zone tonight. 2 touchdowns, 4 field goals.
Big matchup now with Jimmy Graham, Patrick Chung. That's one that's turned into a one-on-one battle right here.
And a big 3rd down, 3rd and 3. 4.5 to go. Wilson throwing, and it is caught for the touchdown. Doug Baldwin, and that's the hat trick. Hadn't scored in 5 games and now has 3 touchdowns tonight.
Jimmy Graham got everybody's attention, including Deron Harmon, the safety. Look how far he's leaning over here because Jimmy Graham, which leaves the gap right up the middle to throw the touchdown on the other side. Doug Baldwin got the one-on-one, and they took advantage.
Man, have you ever heard 70,000 people quieter than this?
Not in this building.
So the fumble recovery, they cash in on the turnover, and now,
interesting.
With a 7-point lead, they're going to go for 2.
Try and put them away.
I get it. I understand this. I think it's a pretty good call. We'll see in a minute. No, it's not a good call. Doug Baldwin. So, you know, what Carroll's doing here, he figures I go to 9, I got a 2, I have a 2-possession lead. If I go for 1, I force Belichick's hand. There's the fumble. Sherman recovers. Seattle leads by 7. Another lead change. Thursday night, and you will see this one on NBC Thursday Night Football. New Orleans against Carolina from Charlotte. Coverage at 7:30 Eastern. Game at 8:15 Thursday night. Beginning of 6 straight weeks of Thursday Night Football. See, like a trained seal, I said there was a lead change. There actually wasn't. There have been so many that that's the first time in the game that the team that's had the lead has scored. So you still had 7 lead changes. It's 31-24, and we can tell you that Sunday Night Football is being brought to you by the 2017 Kia Sorento. Learn more at kia.com. By Verizon, join a better network because better matters. By Bose, get closer, and by U.S. Bank. More images from a game for the ages. Super Bowl 49, Bill Belichick with 4 rings in New England. Pete Carroll had won it the year before. Trying to get back again.
Interesting, Malcolm Mitchell, the young rookie in the game in this moment.
Number 19 is Brady throws, and Bennett's had a huge night and picks up 8 yards before he is forced out of bounds, and that stops the clock inside of 5 minutes in the 4th quarter. They don't wind at 4:18 remaining.
Yeah, and KJ Wright's one of the really top end cover linebackers in the league, but he's giving a lot of space out there to Martellus Bennett, who really didn't run a route, just sort of turned around. So we'll see if this vice tightens as they move down the field.
54. Line.
Bennett now 102 receiving yards on 7 catches. 2nd and 2. Line does its job. Brady has time, and there's Mitchell. You're just talking about him, the rookie out of Georgia, 4th-round pick. He gets it out to the 46-yard line, and the next snap comes with under 4 minutes to play.
You know, Al, the one guy we have not talked about much tonight is Cliff Averill, who came in as the leading sacker. 9 sacks, 3 forced fumbles, 8 sacks in the last 5 games. They have done a pretty nice job on him, and maybe a little tip of the cap to Marcus Cannon, a guy who I think is playing his best football this season.
The only time I mentioned Averill's name was when he was called for holding on Gronkowski in the end zone. Brady now to the 49-yard line as the catch is made there for a short gain. Edelman makes the catch, and Brock Coyle covers.
Yeah, and as for right now, they're happy to sit back in their zone defenses, and now they finally sub out after they get only 3 yards on 1st down. They bring out Brock Coyle, and they bring in Jeremy Lane, the nickel.
2nd and 7 from the 49. Through the middle. White to the 48 he goes. Big play coming right now. 3rd and close to 5.
Here comes the train right here. Cam Chancellor comes flying down in there. You think there's a hole, and then there's no hole.
Now they quickly come up to the line.
54. Short. Aaron. Hey, watch the game.
3rd and 5, and we got a whistle here. Malcolm Mitchell
jumped.
Oh man.
When you play young guys, and there he goes.
Offense number 19. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
And as soon as that happened, he just walked towards the bench. Here he is out here. He did the fake motion. Oh, look at Brady. It's like having your dad mad at you.
54, Linda. So short.
3rd and 10. Brady throws it. Edelman is there and he makes the catch and spins down to the 24-yard line. Another big, huge 3rd down catch by Julian.
Big
30
time
yards.
pick on the outside as you saw James White come down and just hit. Was that Sherman in there? And just no chance, no call on that play.
Well, they had a 3rd and 25 and converted. That's a 3rd and 10. 2 minutes set up for another fantastic finish on Sunday Night Football. There's the menu for the Volkswagen postgame report. Michelle on the field with the stars of the game to be determined. Mike, Tony, and Mike breaking it down. Look around the league as well, and look ahead to Saints Panthers Thursday, Packers Redskins Sunday. 2 minutes in the 1st and 10. From the 24. Blunt is Devlin out in front, and this time busting through and taking him down for a loss. For 4 would be McDaniels. We go back to the Edelman catch on a 3rd and 10.
Biggest non-call of the game. James White's going to come down and he's going to pick Richard Sherman. But if he's within 1 yard of the line of scrimmage, which Sherman is, it is not a foul. Pick right there. I think Sherman still had his feet within that 1 yard limitation. No foul.
2nd and 4. They got it right. Now Brady going deep, and Gronkowski somehow, some way makes the catch. Next to impossible. Covered by Deshaun Shedd. 1st and goal.
Oh, stop it. Watch this play, and this is on a corner. Oh, what a great throw. He works inside and then uses that big body to squeeze Shedd back out to give himself some room to make this catch. Oh, my goodness. What a play. In the biggest moments, Bill Belichick is going to get the football to his best players. He did again.
1st and goal. Taking as much time off the clock as they can. Brady's going to try to burrow his way in. New England has all of its timeouts. He's shy right there. A little hand fighting going on with Averill and a couple of the Patriots. It'll be 2nd down and goal. And the Patriots will take, we assume, a timeout here. The clock stopping. Steratore going to tell us there's a little conference going on.
Are these two teams just always going to end up on the 1 yard line at the end of their games? What a game.
3rd charge timeout, Seattle. Will be a 30-second timeout. Please reset the game clock to 37 seconds. 37 on the game clock, please.
That's interesting. So Pete took his last time out here because he, with 37 seconds now, figures if New England scores, he wants to leave at least a little time for them to get the ball back.
Here we go one more time. Gronkowski on the outside against Deshaun Shedd, works back inside, squeezes over the top, perfectly thrown. And you knew where Brady was going, even against the corner. Didn't even matter. Wasn't a linebacker, wasn't a safety. put your top cover guys out there. I'm going right after them. And I just wonder, and this may sound ridiculous because you're down a touchdown. Did he do that quarterback sneak there so they had to burn the timeout and milk a little clock and make it a little easier if they do score to play defensively against Russell Wilson the other way?
Possible. Meanwhile, second down and goal. Here's Blunt, and he is nothing yet from the officials. They come in, want to see where the ball is, going to mark it outside the goal line.
You have to decide on your timeouts at this point.
Well, they have all of them. Yep. And Belichick takes it here.
First charge timeout, New England.
He's milked enough time, so Seattle's going to have next to nothing left if New England gets into the end zone.
If he didn't get in, that was Cam Chancellor once again making this play, coming around the edge and just grabbing the legs and not letting him cross. I think it's a good call. Watch Cam Chancellor coming around the corner and just grabbing those legs, and it looked like you were going to get Blunt just flying over the top. Certainly there was a big enough hole, but it was Chancellor who saved the day.
Got it right.
We saw in that game against Arizona, boys, Seattle, just because you get to the goal line doesn't mean you're going to get it in.
Well, they missed Chancellor while he was gone. You can see the difference he makes. It's third down and goal. You got Gronkowski, who'd lined up as the fullback. Now they split him. Blunt is the running back. Does Brady sneak it? He tries to. He loses the ball. He loses the ball, so he doesn't get in number one. If Seattle recovered, the game is in effect over, but it looks like Brady winds up with the ball. Now they'll take a timeout, and now it comes down to a fourth down and goal.
Set the game clock for 14 seconds. 1-4 on the game clock, please.
Put one more second back on the clock.
And watch how soon Brady moves here. He's actually on the move, and I think it threw off the timing of the snap. You've got your center down there trying to survive and snap the ball and get low. And Brady, you could see him move even before the snap started, and I just think it threw all the timing off of that snap.
Brady is almost automatic, or has been through his career in that situation, sneaking it in. So here we go with a fourth and goal for New England.
This is your two-point play. Whatever your best two-point play is for this game, you're going to see it right now.
And now a flag.
12 men.
Yep, that was the initial indication.
$12 men, defense. Penalty is half the distance to the goal. Still fourth down.
To the 1 yard line.
Now let's see if the play call changes. You know, LeGarrette Blount looked like he was going to fly over that pile. Chancellor got him, but here they come. They're going to make the shift to the bigs here, bring in the fullback James Devlin, bring in an extra offensive lineman, Cameron Fleming. And you probably put everything on LeGarrette Blount here. Watch out for Cam Chancellor off the edge.
Fleming is eligible. Gronkowski lines up as the fullback. Here comes Devlin. Now Gronk splits out.
Usually a fade to Gronkowski here.
And all kinds of action in the end zone. They look for a flag. They see none. Chancellor with a coverage. And Seattle's going to win it. What a finish.
There was a lot of contact and no call. And you're not going to change any minds at this point. Let's take a look. Chancellor, he knows it's coming. Gronk knows it's coming. I think they got it right. You know, there's who initiated, who's pushing, who's tackling, who's grabbing. Yeah, they both were.
Yeah.
And I don't think you could you differentiate that one?
Well, you know, the officials have taken so much grief, especially recently. They got the pick play right. They got the no touchdown right. He didn't get in. And I think they got that one right, too.
So this game down to the 1-yard line. Goes to Seattle, assuming
right. They don't fumble, and the ball winds up in the end zone.
You know, you can make a case here, Al, of just throwing the ball up in the air twice out of bounds and not even dealing with this, because this is a tight to the goal line. Hard count for sure here.
It's tight, and also New England has a timeout. Or do you take a safety, and New England can use its final timeout, and Seattle's going to have to run one more play.
Timeout of the half, New England, 30-second timeout.
The only problem with the safety is then you got to turn around and kick it to those guys.
Right. But you're down to, there's almost no time on the clock.
I guess the thought is, even if, here we go, one more time with that. I think it's a pretty good call. I think the thought is, what the heck, if we do quarterback sneak and they end up getting a safety on us, then all right, that strategy is okay too.
2nd and 10. And that's going to make it official. So they play a Monday night game. They have the ball only 20 minutes. The defense was out there for 40. So it's a short week. Come across the country. Seattle or Boston, about as far as you can go in the National Football League. It'll be a fun ride home, though, to get back around 5 or 6 in the morning. But
give them room, guys. Give them room.
The embrace between Belichick and Carroll, they go back a long way.
And how much do you think this game means to Pete Carroll? Super Bowl's one thing.
Yep.
He was fired by the New England Patriots. He will never admit it. He'll never say it. But I guarantee you this one feels really good.
First time he's been back in Foxboro since 1999. Brady to Gronkowski. No flag. No touchdown. Seahawks win it. Coming up, the Volkswagen post-game report. Plenty to talk about.
Welcome to the Volkswagen Golf All-Track Post-Game Report. Here now, Mike Tirico.
From start to finish, it was pretty exhilarating. 7 lead changes. Seattle hangs on to beat New England 31-24. What a day of football. Wild finishes early in the afternoon. The 7 lead change game with Pittsburgh and Dallas late afternoon. And then this game to wrap up a terrific Sunday of NFL action. And Seattle on the short week, coming on the road, getting the job done and getting some key performances, especially from a player who we hadn't seen much of in CJ Prosise. He's one of the 3 who will get a game ball for this effort and this road win in New England. Of course, Russell Wilson, 348 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. Prosise, who led the team in both rushing and receiving. And nice to get Cam Chancellor back in the lineup for this one. All 3 get game balls. And a visit with Michelle.
Mike, thank you, Cam. I don't know what it is about these two teams, but you always find yourselves at the end of games on the goal line. You guys won this particular stand. What did that require?
Some, mental toughness, man, physical toughness, and, never giving up. That's one thing we preach in our team. We want to fight till we can't fight no more. And whether it's 60 minutes or however long we got to go, we go the distance. But we want to play till we can't play no more.
You had some big plays in this game, including forcing a fumble on Julian Edelman. Your first game back after missing 4. How were you able to perform this way?
It's all God, man. God's grace. I get my strength from the Lord, man. And, he just maybe come out here and be capable to play like I played. It's a lot of film study. And, my guys, they rally and they give me the energy to keep going, keep fighting and doing it for them because it's the brotherly love.
Congratulations on the win.
Thanks a lot.
All right, let's turn to offense. Russell's over here. Your coach said coming into this game that in so many ways these teams matched up so well.
Yeah, for sure.
So, what did this one require?
Well, it was a challenge. Obviously, coming to Foxboro, a tough place to play. It's not easy to win here. There's not been many losses here for opponents for them. But it was a battle. We played one play at a time. The defense stepped up when we needed to right there. Made some great plays. The offense, we made great plays when we really needed to, and we were clutch on third downs when we needed to. We battled. Guys make phenomenal catches. I love my guy CJ Prosise making plays all the field. So many guys made plays, from the tight ends to the receivers. Doug Baldwin with that last touchdown catch, that was pretty special too.
Well, 3 touchdown catches by Doug Baldwin. Why do you two connect the way you do?
Well, he's an extremely talented player, you know, and he works extremely hard. He's gifted, you know, keeps God first, and he just loves the game, you know, and so the great things will happen for him always.
Well, you mentioned CJ Prosise, so let's bring him into this conversation. Congratulations, Russell. CJ, your first start, and you had to carry quite a load tonight. How were you able to step into that role and produce the way you did?
I mean, you know, it comes with the position. You know, it's the expectation that they have for me. You know, they got big expectations for me. So, you know, I want to come in here. They gave me an opportunity. I wanted to make big plays for them.
The offensive line at times seemed to take over this game. What did they do for you?
I mean, they're clearing lanes for me. You know, we've had a hard time getting the run game going. This week we finally got the lanes open, and I was just hitting the holes, and it was easy. It made it easy for me. Yeah.
You know, Pete Carroll, who used to coach here, said this is a great place to play and it's a fun place to win. What does this win mean to you guys?
I mean, it's an awesome win. You know, just coming on the road, getting a big win. You know, we had a big hyped up game. You know, hyped up all week, and you know, just Sunday night, it's a big primetime game for us. So we're excited to get back to CenturyLink next week and play the Eagles.
Congratulations, CJ.
Thank you,
Mike.
Okay, Michelle, thank you. A lot to talk about with this one. Let's bring in the Hall of Famer, Coach Tony Dungy. Very different conversation, Tony, from when we saw Seattle, the tie game with Arizona just 3 weeks ago. What does this mean for Pete Carroll's team on the short week, cross-country, and beating the Patriots here in Foxboro?
Well, this really says a lot about their team and how they compete, but I think it sends a message to the rest of the NFC. Seattle is back. They were struggling. Russell Wilson looked a lot better today, a lot healthier. Their offensive line, which had struggled to open holes in the run game and protect for him, they played outstanding today. Cam Chancellor coming back. So you take those three elements, and Seattle is a different team right now. Going into New England and winning this ball game, I think they really sent a message.
Coach, we can have a long conversation still about the play calling 21 months ago at the end of Super Bowl 49. The conversation after this one won't last as long, but certainly can be called into question. What do you think of New England's play calling at the end of this game?
Well, they may have outsmarted themselves just like Seattle outsmarted themselves on the 1-yard line at the Super Bowl, but this is really what New England does. Tom Brady has been great at the sneak game. Here, you know, losing the ball. LeGarrette Blount, very close. I thought they should have continued to pound with Blount. And then on the 4th down play, you can't question this. This is what they do. Gronk is their guy. They went to him. It didn't work out. But you have to give Seattle credit for just the way that defense competes there on the goal line.
Impressive stuff. Tony, thanks. So Oakland, Kansas City, and New England all have the best record in the AFC now at 7-2. Dallas has the best record in the NFL at 8-1. And we bring in Mike Florio from ProFootballTalk.com. Mike, not all that surprising, but after the game today, the great Dallas win over Pittsburgh, Jerry Jones said Dak Prescott's the starter. Is there more to the story?
Well, there definitely is, Mike. I spoke to Stephen Jones, the COO and Executive VP of the Cowboys, earlier in the week, and he made it clear that once Tony Romo is healthy and part of the active roster, Coach Jason Garrett and offensive coordinator Scott Linehan will have the ability to switch to Tony Romo in a given game if they believe that in that given set of circumstances they need the boost that would come from using Romo. So right now, Prescott looks great, but once Romo's healthy and on the active roster, Prescott may be the starter. Romo could be the finisher. It's going to be up not to Jerry Jones, but Jason Garrett to make that call.
Every time it seems like there's a referendum on Dak Prescott, it's a resounding yes, he can still do it. Impressive again today. Thanks, Mike. You can catch Mike tomorrow morning on Pro Football Talk Live from 7 to 9 Eastern. Tampa tight end Cameron Brayton is the guest. That's followed by the Dan Patrick Show from 9 to noon. Final score, Seattle by 7. Chris and Al back to wrap it up in a moment.
Welcome back to the Volkswagen Golf All-Track Post-Game Report. Here now, Al Michaels and Chris Collinsworth.
Some statistics come with an exclamation point. There would be one. You go back to 2001 in home games when the Patriots have had a lead of any size in the fourth quarter at any time. 102-2. The 2 is tonight. The only other loss to the Giants in 2011. Wow. So we started the night saying this could be a Super Bowl preview. Our friends over at Fox Sports would be dancing in the streets if this was a Super Bowl preview.
No question about it. And what we saw tonight was professional football. I thought on both sides of the ball, special teams, even the officiating tonight was pretty much dead on. This was just one of those games that you can start to see great teams at the end of the year starting to put it together, and I think both these teams are starting to find their way.
Philly goes to Seattle next week, and the Patriots go to San Francisco. So we got a couple of games coming your way this week. First of all, Thursday night, you've got the Panthers and the Saints. Each of those teams had a chance to win. Each suffered a very disheartening loss, and the only good news in that division would be Atlanta lost today as well.
Yeah, Drew Brees takes them right down the field, and then they get the extra point blocked, and here we go the other way to end up losing the game. So, you know, we're at that point in the year. As you head towards Thanksgiving, there are some teams, you know, both these teams have 2-game leads in their division now. All looks good. Okay, we're all happy. There are other teams, like we're going to see on Thursday night, that are now fighting for their lives.
Right. And
they've got to come up with a win.
Panthers had a 17-0 lead and lost to KC 20-17. Sunday night is Green Bay at Washington. Washington hot right now. They're rolling a little bit. Beat Minnesota today. Green Bay, you tell me.
You know, and I know they're missing some key people out there, but anytime Aaron Rodgers is on the field, you always think you're going to win football games, and I cannot wait to go put on the tape and figure out what's going on with this football team.
You'll be doing that later tonight, won't you?
Yeah, I will be.
All right, Week 11 starts on Thursday night. Lots of action for you on NBC, but what a game here tonight in Foxboro, Massachusetts, as the Seattle Seahawks come across the country, knock off New England 31-24. Al Michaels, Chris Collinsworth, Michelle DeFoyer, Fred Godelli, Drew Esikoff, our entire crew saying good night from Foxboro, Mass.
NBC Sports thanks you for watching this special presentation of the National Football League.